Welcome to another UCL Fantasy deadline stream. We still have around 2 hours for the actual games to start. In around an hour or so, we should get the lineups, and I've got a few interesting bits of news regarding Leroy Sané and Bayern Munich. Let's wait and see. But obviously, we're going to get the lineups anyway, so I wouldn't be too bogged down into who starts for Bayern Munich and any of the teams that are playing today. The main concern is Liverpool and Manchester City. I think that's where things can get very problematic, but we'll talk more about that later in the stream. Let's go through your questions and your comments. Not much has changed from my team selection. I'm still looking at making the same transfers, but ideally I'd want to keep Mahrez and not get Modric in his place. But I mean, I don't know what else I could do really, apart from maybe downgrade Fabinho to just a pure bench fodder option. But I still like Fabinho for the ball recoveries. Welcome Christian, WStream, thank you very much for tuning in. Rowan says, make Lewandowski captain or Benzema. I talked about this in the videos yesterday. I probably would go for Lewandowski, but it's quite close, I think, despite the fixtures. Welcome Hamid as well. Hey Dylan, how's it going? Modric and Bernardo Silva or Mahrez and Fabinho? That's a really good question. I think I'd go for Mahrez and Fabinho if I had to pick a duo. Yeah, and I'm in a bit of a similar situation to you. I think I'd go for Mahrez and Fabinho. Once again, captain Havertz or Lewandowski. So yeah, who to captain? I think I'll go for Lewandowski today, and tomorrow you can go for a Liverpool attacker. Havertz Lewandowski is still Lewandowski for me. Do you think Trent and Robertson will start tomorrow? I believe so. I mean, they only won 2-1. That's the thing. It's still in the balance. I expect Liverpool to go through, but it'd be very surprising if they suddenly just, made a few changes. They are able to and still win the game at Anfield, but it's very risky. Hey Dylan, I'm tempted to go without Chelsea assets this week, thinking of downgrading Rudiger to Foyth in order to upgrade Mahrez to KDB. Do you think it's a good move? I mean, look, I understand the logic, and right now, Kevin De Bruyne is on another level. He's one of the best players in the world right now, for sure, and he always has been, but I'm not sure if I get Foyth because, I'm going to show you a stat very soon. Bayern Munich, I think they're almost destined to score, and look, I like Unai Emery as a coach. I think he's very good. He was obviously not a fit at Arsenal, but I still liked him, despite, his supposed failure there. I just don't see Villarreal keeping a clean sheet there, and I think Bayern could put quite a few past them. And also, Villarreal should have won by 3 or 4 in the first leg. But having said that, I think Nagelsmann actually put it best. Their biggest mistake was not killing the tie off, and they could be in big trouble. Koeman or Havertz? I think I'd go for Havertz. And actually, Koeman, this is the thing. He is kind of seen as the untouchable wing at the moment because Sané is off form. But I'm going to show you some, news now. So before I get into my transfer plans once again, which you can see my team selection regardless, let's show you a bit of news. So this is the reason why, one of the main reasons why I think Bayern Munich are going to score today and probably advance. They have scored more home goals than any other team this season, and it tends to be quite a common occurrence. 20 goals, that's almost double second place, which is Manchester City. Liverpool aren't even in the top 4 here, which is quite surprising. So yeah, I just don't see Emery keeping a clean sheet there. No team has kept one all season. Bayern Munich at the Allianz are a different beast. Remember against Salzburg in the round of 16, they drew 1-1, courtesy of a late equaliser. I think it was from Koeman. In the second leg, they absolutely destroyed Salzburg. Now, I don't expect the same level of punishment, but I would expect Bayern Munich to score quite a few there. So that's just kind of one way of looking at it. I just think Bayern Munich are going to score. Their attack is very good. And this is something else that I've seen. Musiala is expected to start tonight, but some Bayern fans are thinking it might be Müller making way. That makes my decision very easy to get rid of him for Benzema, but I still need to find other avenues to find that money. And I'm not talking about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but there's also something else that this page has posted, which is quite interesting. Let me try to get it up. But it was regarding Leroy Sané. And I think they posted it yesterday, actually. So just bear with me for a second. Obviously, another really good page to follow. So this is the one. The only question regarding tomorrow's lineup is who starts on the other wing between Sané and Gnabry. Koeman is undisputed. During the final practice match today, obviously this was yesterday, Sané played with the A team, Gnabry with the B team. Sané was in a good mood and spoke to Nagelsmann, and this is according to Bild, the German newspaper. And this is their predicted lineup. So Neuer in goal, Upamecano, Hernandez, Pavard, Davis, Kimmich and Goretzka, Koeman, Müller, Sané, Lewandowski. But as we just said now, Musiala is expected to start tonight. So who does he come in for? Does he come in for Müller or for Sané? That's kind of the main thing we're looking at. Or do they change formation and maybe Davis plays at the left wing back and they change things up a little bit? So that'll be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think as well. For Villarreal, I don't think there should be too many surprises. We're also going to go for each team briefly like we did in the last stream and talk about the injuries and suspensions for each one, just in case you're not aware of them. By the way, for those of you that have Nicholas Süle still, He's injured, so he missed the last game through injury. Therefore, I think that's quite an easy sell. Unless he's in the lineup tonight, I think it's a sell. But let's wait and see. Don't make any transfers just yet. You might as well just wait until the lineups are out in 40, 50 minutes time. You gain that advantage, and therefore you can make the right decision. And here you go. Obviously, the games today, just for those that aren't aware. Real Madrid versus Chelsea, Bayern versus Villarreal. We're going to get the lineups for that. Atletico, Man City, Liverpool, Benfica, we're going to have no idea about. We just have to kind of second guess that, keep those assets and hope that they start. And this is my transfer plan still. I'm not a big fan of doing Mahrez to Modric, but a lot of people ask, why are you even considering Modric? Well, he's got 4 points and above in every single game in which he has started, except for Matchday 1, where I believe he only played 60 minutes. Let me just double check this for you. No, he played 80 minutes and he got 3 points. Most of his actual returns come from assists. So, could you say it's sustainable or not? That's another, debate to be had. But I still think Modric is one of the best options around his price, as he was last season. And from Real Madrid, I would say Benzema, Vinicius, Eder Militao, Courtois, and Modric are the top 5 picks for Los Merengues. So that's just the way I see it. Let me know what you think as well. Maybe some of you would go for Foden. I'll also actually have a look at the polls that I put out on the channel. And if you want to see any polls here in the live chat, let me know. I'm going to skim through these because obviously I realise that we are quite behind with that little introduction there. But just for those of you that aren't aware, Musiala is expected to start tonight. So yeah, welcome Rixan, welcome Jack. Welcome Teza once again. Aranya, as always, thank you very much. What to do with Militao? Well, he's suspended, so if you have a spare transfer remaining and it wouldn't be for a hit, I would sell him for sure. Whether you go to Pavard, it just depends on how your defence is lining up. Because if you already have 3 or 4 City defenders, do you really need another one? Probably not. Welcome Ricardo again. Welcome Akrath. And obviously let me know where you're watching from. That'll be really good to know as well. Mason Mount, a good idea or not for Bernardo Silva? I actually put him in the poll yesterday for midfielders between 6 and 8.5 million. His performance in Game Week 32 against Southampton obviously, caught our attention. He hasn't really done it in the Champions League though this season. He was much better last campaign. But Mason Mount, obviously on his day, he's a top player. And I think he could be a good purchase if you're looking for someone around that price. But to get him in for Bernardo Silva, it just depends on what other transfers you have. And if you're struggling to actually find another move, then maybe that's the way to go. But what you could always, if you're struggling for transfers, and this goes to anyone as well. Let me get this screen up, by the way, to show the transfer plans I have. But yeah, if you are kind of struggling for a transfer, my key advice would be to downgrade a certain position, especially like your second goalkeeper, which might not even come in handy. Obviously, if you have Lacodimas or Rulli already, and obviously, one of these kind of players from today, then that makes sense. You don't really have to make a move there yet. But let's say, for example, you still have Onana, you can find that extra 0.5 million that you might need for another move. So that's the kind of move I'm suggesting here. But let me know what you guys think as well. And let's keep going through this question. Welcome GA, welcome KM. All good. What about you? Yeah, they want 3-1. My bad, Nick. Yeah, apologies for that. But I still think it's slightly in the balance. But yeah, my apologies for that little error. What's the best time to use the wildcard? I'd say Matchday 11, personally. It just doesn't make sense to use it right now because what if you wildcard into a team and then Chelsea mount a comeback and things don't go according to plan? It's just better to use it, I think, in Matchday 11 and also Matchday 9, which just went past. Free transfers: Rudiger to Robertson, Gonzalo Ramos to Diaz, and Mahrez to Rodri because I can't get Fabinho. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's good. And, besides from Fabinho, Kante and Rodri are the ones around that price that I'd look at for the ball recoveries. Welcome, Kevin and Alvin. Thank you very much for tuning in. Benzema for Muller, yes. And if Muller is benched, and Bayern fans would tell you he has been off form for quite a while, why did I get him in? Pretty much because I couldn't afford a Benzema and I thought Muller would perform in the Champions League. But yeah, I think that is a pretty simple move. Hey Dylan, who do you think I can get for Sula? Yeah, I think you can get Pavard, for example, like for like switch. I prefer Sula, but obviously he's injured. There's not much you can do about it, and he wasn't in the starting 11 when he was fit. So yeah, I think Pavard is a good substitute. If you don't have Cancelo or Laporte already, I think they're great purchases. Robertson, Van Dijk, Trent, any of them, take your pick. Although, as I said with the Liverpool fullbacks, I do prefer Trent for the ball recoveries. What about Vinicius Jr.? Yeah, I mentioned him in the top 5 Real Madrid picks, but I just prefer Luis Diaz or Diego Jota, whoever starts for Liverpool, and then the others like Benzema, Lewandowski, etc. But he is good. It's just I think there are better options. Benzema and Sane or De Bruyne and Vinicius? I'd go for Benzema and Sane for sure, but wait for the lineups because if Sane is benched, then maybe De Bruyne and Vinicius looks better. Jota for Muller, yeah? The thing is, I'm not sure if Jota's going to start. Some Liverpool fans would tell you maybe Salah's going to get a rest, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. So yeah, Jota, once he starts, or whenever he starts, should I say, he's going to do well. The problem is, how often is he going to start? And you just don't know that in the Champions League right now. Check Pavard's ball recoveries. Yeah, I think they're pretty decent. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's a decent replacement for Sula, but I just think that Sula has just been better in the Champions League, at least in terms of minutes per point. Although I think Pavard has had a few issues this season. So yeah, I think it's pretty decent. 47 balls recovered. Yeah, pretty good. 11 points just for that. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'd say pretty decent returns all over the season. Nothing spectacular though. Let's compare it to Sula. Maybe I am mistaken in terms of the ball recoveries. Yeah, Sula 40 ball recoveries, but then 550 minutes. And let's go quickly back up to or back down, should I say, to Benjamin Pavard. So how many minutes does he have? Yeah, significantly more minutes. So I still think Sula's slightly better for ball recoveries, but obviously it doesn't matter because he's going to be missing out anyway today. But let's wait for the lineups and then we'll obviously have more concrete information. Yeah, Militao suspended, exactly. That's exactly my point. But in terms of the best 5 Real Madrid players, I still think Militao is part of it. But obviously you wouldn't bring him in now. He is suspended and we're going to go through each team. But I was aware of that. Thank you obviously for pointing out though. Why do you have more money than me? It's just the players you bring in, and the players I brought in, their prices have risen more than yours. That's pretty much it. Players go up in price after every match day since I think match day 3. Let's see, what else do we have? I'll try to go for everything. Welcome, Glenn. Thank you very much. And a big shout out to Glenn. Check out his UCL Fantasy content as well. I've been checking out recently. It's fantastic. So everyone check out Glenn's channel. I'll probably do some shout outs during some videos as well. So thank you very much. In terms of the lineups, Caledon, they tend to drop basically half an hour from now. So 1 hour and 50 minutes before the actual game starts. In the Premier League, it's 1 hour, but in Champions League, it tends to be an hour and 15 minutes. So pretty much between 6:45 and 7 p.m. UK time, it will be the case. Yeah, Real Madrid 11 to face Chelsea, Courtois, Carvajal, Nacho, Alaba, Mendy, Modric, Casemiro, Cruz, Valverde, Benzema, Vinicius Jr. So no surprises there really. And I'll see if it's completely confirmed. Thank you, by the way, Superstar. If it is confirmed, I'll put it up on the live chat as well. And if you haven't already, by the way, you know what to do. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuning in today. And yeah, we're going to be going on until the lineups are out and the games start pretty much. And then we will conclude the stream. But for the time being, we'll go through all your questions. I'll lock in my transfers as I tend to do. And yeah, UCL Fantasy, I tend to leave these transfers until very, very late. So yeah, let me just check this with Real Madrid very quickly, see if they've actually confirmed the lineup. Would be very, very early actually, but it has been done before. Yeah, it's already confirmed. So thank you very much, Superstar, for that. I'm going to put it up on the chat now. So yeah, I think LiveScore should have it updated here. Let's see. So I think they've pretty much got it here. So it should be the confirmed lineup. It says possible lineup, but it's pretty much spot on. But yeah, that's pretty much the lineup unless I'm, kind of forgetting somebody. But yeah, that's pretty good. Modric and Benzema could be coming into my team. So yeah, I'm looking to make a move like that. I think Benzema is just a very simple one right now. He's just looking, he's the most informed player in the world. Let's put it that simply. Yeah, welcome, David. I'm good. What about you? Thank you very much for tuning in again. And yeah, once again, Youngson, I think the best time to wildcard is matchday 11 from now on. Portuguese watching from the Netherlands. Wow, thank you, Ricardo. And yeah, I remember you tuning in for some of the earlier videos and streams. Thank you very much. And nice combination there. Your free fall differentials for a wildcard. That's interesting. I need to actually go back to the UCL Fantasy screen just to kind of recap on the actual players that are differentials. I don't want to just give you random names. So here we go. In terms of differentials, let's go through this. Selected by, that's what we want to do. So very easy way of sorting it out. And okay, so in goal, I mean, you wouldn't really look for differential goalkeepers per se. Either way, the goalkeepers, I said this before, I will just narrow it down to Neuer, Courtois, Ederson, Alisson. Mendy's still a possibility. It's just, Chelsea lie in the balance in terms of progressing. Defenders, this is where we can go through some differentials for sure. So the players I do like, I mean, I tend to say 5% ownership, that's a mega differential, but even under 10%, that's pretty good. So even players like Reece James could be pretty decent, although that's pretty much mainly a 1 week punt, you could think. Mandava I like a lot. If you want any Atletico Madrid player, Mandava is the guy. At Lille, he was doing so well. I mean, look at the ball recoveries, by the way. We talked about Fabinho earlier. 66 balls recovered. That is 20 points from that. So that is insane. It's probably one of the best, ball recovery players I think I've seen in UCL Fantasy, during the few seasons that I've done videos. It's incredible. So Mandava in defence for sure. Fela Mendy could be decent, but I keep on saying this, once Militao is clear of suspension, I think he is a better option in defence. So I'm not too sure about him. Lucas Hernandez could be pretty decent actually. I like him. And look at that, apart from Matchday 5 where he got 2 points, he tends to get 5 points and above. I really like that. So Lucas Hernandez is another really good replacement for Nicolas Sula, like for like. So that's another one to think about. And then maybe I'll try to look to see if there's anyone else, but not really. Lodi's not too bad, but I think he was much better. I think it was last season when he was 4 million. Yeah, I think I just stick to those for now. Nathan Ake could be decent for the second leg, but Ruben Dias is back in training and I expect him to be available for the semi-finals should City progress. But yeah, those defenders I definitely look at. Looking at the midfielders, this should be a bit more interesting perhaps. So Mason Mount, if you're looking for a Chelsea midfielder, he could be the guy. Let's see Havertz's ownership actually. I think it might be even lower because he is more expensive to be fair. But yeah, Havertz, Mane, I like them a lot. Even though some people would put question marks about who's going to start for Liverpool up front, which is a fair point. But Mane and Havertz are really good differentials, I think. Even Kevin De Bruyne, what's his ownership? It might be higher than what I expect. 8%, but still a differential. So these are the sorts of players you'd want to look at, I think. And maybe I've skipped someone around here. Coman's not too bad, but I just think his ceiling isn't as high as even a Gnabry or a Leroy Sané. And as for the forwards, just to go through this, so this is a bit interesting, but I think I'd say Nunez, even though I would expect Benfica to be knocked out. And who else do we have? Werner maybe, you never know. A really good performance, and I think he actually recorded the highest XG of any player in any Premier League match this season against Southampton, which was insane. And look at Matchday 6 when he got 17 points. He certainly has it in his locker. He's got the ability. I just don't think he has the confidence or consistency, but Werner could be really interesting. Who else? Firmino, if he gets a cheeky start, maybe, but those are the main players I'd look at, the main differentials. Let me know if there's anyone I missed out. There's probably plenty, and even those around 10% ownership are still differentials and can boost you up the ranks, especially those top quality players. Thoughts on Alonso and Gundogan? I think they're both decent options, but I think they're better from both teams. So from City, despite the price difference, Foden is, I think, a better option. You also have Mahrez, Kevin De Bruyne, and with Chelsea's defence, you have Thiago Silva, Reece James, etc. But they are decent. Mahrez is a minute's risk. Yes, he is, but he didn't start against Liverpool, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he got the start here against Atletico Madrid. But even then, even if he starts, he's facing Atletico Madrid. They're very resolute. He struggled to make an impact in the first leg. So, any thoughts about Man City lineup? Well, obviously, we're not going to get it, before the deadline, so I can only offer my opinion. I don't think Diaz is going to start, and Pep made it quite clear, unless he's playing a trick on us. So, I think it'll be Cancelo, Stones, Laporte, maybe Ake as well. Let me just double check this because I might be mistaken. I think Walker might be available from suspension, but we're going to go for every single team. Man City predicting lineup is absolutely crazy. So let's go for Man City's now. I might be mistaken because I think Walker's back from suspension now. It's only Jesus because of the yellow card that he got. So Walker's back. He'll play as the right back, I believe. Cancelo left back. And the centre backs will be Laporte and Stones. Midfielders Rodri, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. I think Mahrez is going to start. So Mahrez, Foden, and it's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? I think Sterling will start as well. Yeah, something like that. Obviously, I'm probably made one or two mistakes in that kind of guess. But let me know what you think about the City lineup. Let's go for each single team. So just to recap, Ruben Dias, he has recovered actually. He's in training anyway, but you wouldn't expect him to start in the Champions League just yet. Maybe at the weekend, that's a possibility. And then we'll go for Atletico Madrid. I know they're playing tomorrow. So Herrera and Jimenez are both injured, and Jimenez had a really good performance, I think, in recent Champions League matches, especially against United. Carrasco is still suspended from that red card in February. And now for the teams that are playing today. So Hazard and Vallejo both injured. Eder Militao is suspended in the Champions League. Casemiro is available. That's just a La Liga suspension. Chelsea only have Chilwell injured. Everyone else is available as well. As for Bayern Munich, Choupo-Moting has the coronavirus. Sarr has an injury, and also Tolisso and Niklas Süle, which is probably the most interesting pick there, and a good UCL fantasy asset on his day. As for Villarreal, only Alberto Moreno is injured. Everyone else is available. Ibarra is only at risk of suspension in La Liga. As for Liverpool, nothing. Just like last week, absolutely no problems on their front. Compare that to last season, especially around this time where they were decimated by injuries. As for Benfica, Pinho, Verissimo and Silva all injured. So yeah, I think someone asked me in a video recently, well, they put their team out and I highlighted Rafa Silva as a sell, and yeah, he is injured. So I think that's a pretty easy one at that. Forget about the kind of risk of suspensions there. And we already went through Man City and Atletico. So that's kind of a brief overview, just for those of you that are wondering. In terms of the City lineup, I mean, I think I've gotten it maybe 90% right. I think there might be one or two doubts in my mind about certain positions, mainly up front. Does Sterling start? That's an interesting one. I think he will. But let's get back to my team. And here we go to, my transfer plans, just so those of you are aware of what I'm looking to do. Even if I bring in Benzema, I think I'd still captain Lewandowski. But let me know, are you going to be captaining Benzema, going something different? Yeah, will Ruben Dias play? I don't think so. I don't think Dias will play. And yeah, in terms of the captaincy, I think once again, I think I do the same thing. Yeah, I'm seeing a few people say Hudson-Odoi is injured, so thank you, for example, to Wei Seng. Yeah, I think, Lukaku's another one. I'm not too sure if they've actually fully updated it then, but I think for the most part, maybe not Chelsea, because I did see a few kind of problems throughout the week, so it did seem a bit strange. I think the rest is fairly accurate though. The Niklas Süle one, for example, that wasn't in the transfer market website until today, so maybe it takes a bit of a time to update. But I'll try refresh it, see maybe later on, but I think it should all be good. Let me know, by the way, if the lineups come out for the other game as well. We've only got Real Madrid so far, I believe. So let's go through the questions higher up very quickly. So Liverpool buying defender, I'd still go for a Liverpool defender, I think, especially if it's Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk or Robertson. I'm captaining Benzema today, fair enough, Lucas, and you can afford to do so. You've also got another opportunity tomorrow to change the captaincy. Azpilicueta to Van Dijk and Mahrez to Rodri, your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, I can understand the logic behind the moves, but you're going from Mahrez, who is obviously kind of a goal-scoring midfielder, to a ball recoverer in Rodri, but I think they're good transfers. It's in FPL, I definitely say no, but in UCL Fantasy, I think there's a good argument to be made there. I'm not sure how much money you'd have left in the bank. Otherwise, maybe you could consider a few other midfielders over Rodri, but I like it, to be fair. Sane or Koeman? I prefer Sane, but let's wait for the lineups. I think Koeman is just more nailed, but Sane is a better player in general. Check ball recoveries of Pavard. Yeah, I mentioned it, Sumit. I went over it earlier, and it's good, but for example, it's not the best. For example, he's got more balls recovered than Süle, but he's also got more minutes played, so it does make sense. Either way, Süle's going to miss out. Yeah, the confirmed lineup, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But when I went on live score, it said possible lineup. But obviously, I know that is the confirmed lineup. I saw it on Real Madrid's Twitter. My points, I'm trying to remember now. I think I got 54 points last week, so very disappointing. A rank 1,120. Overall points, I need to double check that. But yeah, either way, I'm going to have the screen back up for my team anyway, and you'll see on the left-hand side of your screen, so no worries there. Is Mahrez injured? No, he's not injured. He's not injured. Breaking, Werner starts for Chelsea. Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I also tipped him to be a decent differential this week, especially after his great performance against Southampton. Would you get Havertz or Modric? That's a great question. I'm not in a position to be able to afford Havertz. I think Modric might be better long-term, but for this week, I think I might lean towards Havertz, mate. Benzema, Lewandowski captain once again. I think I'll go Lewandowski. It's completely up to you though. Just take your pick, trust your gut, but I'm going there. Welcome analysing FPL. What score do you think Madrid versus Chelsea will be? I'll go through my predictions actually. I might as well. I've got the predictor here, waiting for the full lineups. For example, from Chelsea, I've gone for 2-1 Madrid, but this was something I put. So this was before the first leg actually that I set these predictions. So what I expected was Chelsea to win the first leg, but Madrid to make a comeback and maybe go through on extra time in the second. Now that could still happen, but obviously things have panned out a little bit differently. I think Madrid will go through, but I'm not sure if they're going to win on the night. I think it might be a draw or Chelsea get a win. They look really good against Southampton, but Real Madrid have Benzema. I don't think Chelsea have any player of that calibre. As for Bayern Munich, Villarreal, I think Bayern Munich will score at least 2 goals. I'm going to go for a 3-1. I wouldn't be surprised, if it's closer than that and it goes to extra time, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's a 5-0 win or something like that from Bayern Munich, because on their day they can turn it on against anyone. They've scored 20 goals at home, and that's 7 more than Man City, who are second. Atletico Madrid versus City, I'm going for a 1-1. I think Atletico could actually knock them out, so I'm very torn between all these games, and we should be, you know, they're quarterfinals. As for Liverpool Benfica, I think it's a standard 2-0 win, but Benfica could nick a goal. Nunez is a great talent. You know, Arsenal should be looking at him. United are also very interested, so that should be interesting. But yeah, Madrid, Chelsea, and I think maybe Atletico Man City are the 2 games I'm just not too sure about, especially the second leg in particular. I'd still expect Madrid, Bayern, City and Liverpool to go through, but you never know. Football's a funny game. So those are my predictions. I might go back to these later on once we get the full lineups, which, to be fair, shouldn't be too far away. I'm going to check Chelsea and see if they've got anything so far. But yeah, Madrid put theirs very, very soon. Or should I say very, very early. So yeah, in 15 minutes time, 17 minutes, we should get the Chelsea lineup. Modric or Foden? Interesting one. I think Foden has more attacking potential, but Modric just consistently gets those 4 points and above. Take Muller or Diaz? Take Muller or Diaz? I think I'd rather have Diaz, yeah. How serious is Sula's injury? I'm not too sure, but it should be enough to put him out for this game, to be quite frank. I've got Mendy and Azpilicueta. Wanted Ederson in for Mendy, but Azpilicueta's injured now and replacing him is the priority. Would you do Aspi to Stones? See you have 3 defenders and go Mendy as the only playing goalkeeper? Well, yeah, Aspi is confirmed missing out, and that's another one, by the way. I'm not too sure why Transfer Market didn't... maybe it's not refreshed. I've refreshed it a few times, but maybe it hasn't fully updated. So, yeah, I think I would do something like that. I would just keep what you have with Mendy. Either way, Ederson's playing against Atletico away, so... You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Atletico nick a goal or 2. So yeah, I think I'd do the same thing as you said, Aranya. To sell Sane or Mahrez, I'd wait for the lineup. If Sane's benched, I'd sell Sane, but right now I'd rather sell Mahrez. You know, I think Sane will start pretty much. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my team. So as someone asked earlier, these are my points. So 736 overall, 54 points in Matchday 9. My rank went from 700-ish to 1,100, and that's pretty much because I didn't have Benzema. That's pretty much the moral of the story. I'll try to go through these questions quickly. Obviously, keep the questions coming and keep smashing the like button, subscribing if you're new, and showing support to the channel. It's much appreciated, and I'm going to try to get through all these questions. It's going to be a task, but I think we can do it. So we've still got an hour and a half for the matches to start, and the lineup should be out in 50 minutes. We already got Real Madrid's. We went over it earlier. We're going to go through them again very shortly, so don't worry. Okay, so have the same team, but I changed Sane for Koeman. Fair enough. Like I always say, try to leave the transfers until the lineups are confirmed, especially, for example, with Bayern Munich. We get their lineups before the deadline, so I think Koeman will start anyway. Sane still has the possibility of being benched, but you know, fair enough. I can see why he did it, especially to fund other moves. What about Konate? I said this to other viewers earlier. I think Konate will start in Matchday 10. I'm not sure if he's going to start beyond, you know, if Liverpool reach the semi-finals and the final, I don't know if Konate is going to start those games. But obviously, I kind of had pie in my face the other day because I just pretty much said, just go for Trent, Van Dijk and Robertson, and Konate ended up scoring the goal. Benzema or Lewandowski captain? Once again, just trust your gut. I'm going Lewandowski for the fixture, but it's very, very close. Best 8.2 million midfielder. I think Foden is just above that now. So let me double check this for you. I don't want to give you a fake player. So yeah, Foden's 8.2. Pretty much. Yeah, so Modric is 8.3, just above your kind of price range. Is Foden or Danjuma? I like Danjuma the most, but I'm just not sure if he's going to go through. Bayern or Liverpool defender? I already answered this question, Andrea. I'd go for a Liverpool defender. Grealish, Foden, Mahrez. Yeah, it could be Grealish. That's the kind of doubt I have, whether it's Grealish or Sterling. So that's a good point. Alba or Pavard? I'm guessing it's Alaba. I'd go for Pavard, yeah. Foden or Modric? Once again, I'm very, very torn between that. I think Modric is just more consistent and gets you 4 points and above, and that's why I'm leaning towards him, but I really like Foden. Can you roll the transfer? No, you can't in the knockout stages. You can only do it during the group stages there. Foden or Mahrez? I prefer Mahrez, but it's also a question of budget. And that extra 1.4 million goes a long way. Or should I say 1.5. Heideland, why so many people keen to sell Mahrez this round? No, he's not injured. It's just simply to fund other moves. So I'll just show you my example here. So if we change the screen, I can't afford Benzema in for Muller, as well as getting Cancelo for Rudiger without making a compromise. So even, let's actually change things up a bit. So let's keep Rudiger and let's keep Mahrez. Even if it's just one transfer, you can't roll the transfers, remember, but let's say, for example, I don't use all three. I can't afford Muller to Benzema, and that's one of the main reasons why I didn't get him in the end. I liked the overall team structure of this. But yeah, that's probably the main reason why people are looking to sell him. I can't speak for everyone, but in my case, I'm looking to sell Mahrez because I think Son is going to start today, and we're going to find out very shortly. But also, I don't like the fixture too much. He struggled in the first leg against Atletico. Obviously, I really like the player. He's been fantastic in the Champions League, not only this season, but also in the last campaign. But I just can't afford Benzema in for Muller, and that's a bit of a kind of shock, or not shock, a bit of a shame. So unfortunately, I need to find a compromise elsewhere, and I just don't know. Maybe Rudiger could just be downgraded and forget about Cancelo for now, go from Rudiger to someone cheaper, and that's it. But unfortunately, I don't like most of the defenders around 5.5 million. That is the main problem. But once again, I can't speak on everyone's behalf. Everyone has a different circumstance, but I'm guessing it's for budget. If I do my transfers and use Limitless, will my transfers be saved? No, they won't. Just like with a free hit in FPL or the wildcard, obviously that just is the transfer anyway. But in terms of free hits and Limitless, it does not, save. Yeah, Aspie travelled. He's available today. Fair enough. Thank you for that, Weiseng. We're going to get the lineups very soon. Yeah, thoughts on Gundogan. He's not my favourite City midfielder, but he's not a bad option. But I think there's better ones. Welcome, Harry. Any big injuries, team leaks? Well, Sula's injured, Harry. In terms of the rest, we kind of went through them. Diaz is back in training, but Pep doesn't really expect him to start, or he doesn't expect to start him, should we say, tomorrow. Anything else? Maybe I'm forgetting something. Kind of the same old usual stuff. Hazard being injured. Liverpool have no problems at all. Bayern Munich still have a few other injuries like Tolisso, etc. I think Chelsea have a few players out like Hudson-Odoi and Lukaku. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much it. Welcome, Rock and Roll. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't think Modric is a good option. Fair enough. It's just, if you look at his returns, and this is the reason why I've kind of highlighted him, and I can understand if people aren't too big of a fan, but look at this, 4 points and above every single game, except for Matchday 2, 4 and 1. And even, like, Matchday 2, I don't think he even played the full, 24 minutes, 90 minutes against Shakhtar, and then he got 80 minutes against Inter Milan. So I like it. I think he's a decent option. From Real Madrid, if there's any midfielder to go for, I think it's Luka Modric, but I can understand why. I'm not a huge fan of these midfielders, around 8 million and below. But if I want to get Cancelo and Benzema, I need to get a midfielder around this price for Riyad Mahrez. So I think most people would just say go for Foden. I'm going to get the poll out, actually, that I put on my channel. So bear with me for a second. I want to see what you guys said in the end. But I think Foden was winning quite comfortably. The same goes for Lewandowski captaincy over the likes of Benzema and the rest. So let's go through this. Let's get the community page up. From my channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and also vote in these polls. Let us know what you think in the comments. Modric, Foden, Mount, Jorginho. Foden's winning very easily there. So 50% of the vote. Modric 20%, Mount 19%, Jorginho 8%. If Havertz was around the same price as FPL, I think I'd go for him, despite the fact that Chelsea will probably be eliminated. So yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. That's just the poll there. And Lewandowski's winning easily with the captaincy because of the fixture, which is completely, understandable. But we're back here. I think I'd still go for a City defender like Cancelo, despite the fact that I have Edison and Laporte. And two Chelsea defenders against Madrid. I'm just not too sure about that, to be honest. Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at the moment. Unfortunately, I think I need to get rid of Riyad Mahrez, which is a big shame. If Christensen don't start today, Chelsea will win. That's a big statement. All right, we're going to go through the recent comments now, obviously. Apologies, but we're trying to get through the questions earlier as well. Yeah, Daniel already answered that question about Gundogan. Mahrez to Foden and Modric. I think I'd go for Modric, but this is the way I see it. Foden, I'm not a big fan of in Matchday 10 specifically, but long term, I think he just has better attacking potential. It's a tricky one. In terms of goal threat, goals, assists, it's going to be Foden. But Modric is just more consistent. He gets those 4 points and above every single game, pretty much. Do you think Salah will start? Yes, I think he will. Already have Danjuma. Yeah, once again, then I'd go for Foden or Modric. Obviously, you said 8.2, didn't you? So it'd have to be Foden. Rudiger to Alphonso Davies. I have Reece James. Yeah, I think so. I'd probably do that, Caledon. We're going to get the lineups very shortly anyway. Will you play triple City defence? Well, I'm actually considering it still, yeah. Unsure if I want Foden or Capoue. I'd say Foden. I think Foden is probably better. Do you think it's better to use Limitless now or leave it for the semis? Thank you, Mustafa, and obviously big up Iraq. I'd probably, use the limitless now. If it was my team, my own situation, I think I'd do that. Gracias, Carlos. Havertz or Koeman? Good question. Koeman it's a bit similar to the kind of Foden. Was it Foden? Yeah, Foden and Modric debate. Koeman's more consistent with the 5 points and above, but Havertz's ceiling is higher. I think I'd go Havertz. But then you look at Bayern's fixture, it is easier, to be fair. Sane or Koeman? I still prefer Sane, but if Sane's benched, just go for Koeman. Should I keep Felix or kick him out? The team is dead. I expect Atletico to be a bit more adventurous in the second leg. In the first leg, Felix didn't even play as a striker. We all know this. But yeah, I'd probably still kick him out. That could backfire, by the way, because he is Atletico Madrid's most talented attacker. So there's always a risk, but I think I'd do that. Yeah, Konate's 5.5. Fair enough. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, that's actually a good shout. The only problem is, long term, I'm just not a big fan. And I'd rather have Cancelo right now, go big at the back, and change things accordingly. But it's a really good suggestion. Thank you very much for that. Sane will not start. Fair enough, yeah. We went through something earlier, and the expectation was that he's going to start, but he was always a bit of a doubt. So, yeah, I'm going to keep checking the lineups, seeing if anything comes out. But right now, nothing yet, just Real Madrid's. Do Bayern Munich have the lineup out right now? But yeah, very shortly, within the next 10-20 minutes, we're going to go through each lineup and talk about it as well. And then we'll then go back to the drawing board and talk about how it affects our transfer plans. Let's see if Chelsea have that lineup very shortly. But if not, we're going to just go back to questions quickly. Nothing yet. So we'll just be patient. Don't you think Casemiro's better than Modric? Usually, yes. But Casemiro hasn't been the same in the last year or two. And even the ball recoveries aren't great, in my opinion. Chelsea lineup is out, says Guru. Yeah, probably on the UEFA website. I'm not going to bring it up on screen because UEFA are a bit, funny with the videos that pop up and then they get you banned. So I'm just going to put it up in a separate tab and then discuss this. So yeah, let's see, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, Chelsea. Yep, I got the lineup here. So Mendy in goal, Rudiger, Thiago Silva, and who else? I'm just going to read it in the way they say it. So Mendy, Rudiger, Alonso, Thiago Silva, Kante, Kovacic, Werner, Loftus-Cheek, Mount, Reece James and Havertz. So once again, Loftus-Cheek starting, and they're going for a back four, it seems. That's very interesting. Rudiger and Thiago Silva, the centre-backs. No Christensen, Wei saying. No Christensen. So well done. Congratulations. You haven't lost the game already. It's very surprising, though, because I remember Christensen was actually playing very well in the first half of the season, or at least whenever I watched. The real question, yeah, I've already answered this, Paul. For me, it's Lewandowski, but just back your gut. That's the main thing. Sometimes going against what most people think, including myself, is the way to go. What if Sane doesn't start? Would you keep Mahrez? Yes, I think so, and I'd sell Sane instead. Sane's not doing anything. The problem really with Sane, though, is that he's playing on the right. I don't know why. If he just plays on the left in his best position, I think he's going to do really well. And he's been fantastic in the Champions League. Probably, if you made a Champions League team of the season so far, I think Sane makes part of it, to be fair. Yeah, Carlos, we'll find out in a few minutes if Sane is going to start. I'm going to check right now the Bayern Munich Villarreal lineups, see if we've got anything. So just wait a second. No, I don't think we've got it yet. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait for that fixture. But we already went through the Real Madrid one as well, and Chelsea will go through them again very shortly. So just bear with me for a second. Yeah, Chelsea lineup is out. Thank you very much. Should I sell Mendy to a safe option like Alisson, or just do it next game week? If it's for a hit, then I wouldn't, Harry. But if you're looking for a free transfer and you don't know what to do, then yes, I'd do it for sure. Oh, Wasting says easy win. Fair enough. I don't know about that, but should be quite interesting. Yeah, thank you, Jack, and everyone else who pointed out that Chelsea lineup is out. I appreciate it. Hey, Dylan, how's it going? Force on my team, and what should I do? So Edison, Cancelo, Laporte, Trent, Robertson, Nianzo, Salah, Sane, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Koeman, Lewandowski, Ramos, Muller. So I think I would try to get Benzema for Muller. I don't know what your budget is, Mohammed. So there's a few things you could do. If Sane is benched right now, we're going to find out very shortly. I would probably get rid of him, actually, for a cheaper midfielder. You can go to Danjuma, Foden or Modric. Other things you could do, Nianzo, I don't expect him to start, so you can maybe upgrade him as well, but you can always keep him as your bench fodder option. I'd look to also upgrade Ramos if you can, but obviously I realise that you don't have the budget to do all of these things, but definitely I'd try to get Benzema for Muller, maybe someone like Diaz or Jota in for Ramos, and the other move would be in midfield, I think. if you're not able to upgrade Nianzou, and I would maybe do Mahrez or Sane downgraded. Another thing you could do, even Bernardo Silva, you can downgrade to Fabinho, Rodri, etc. to find the funds. Sane, Coman and Muller start. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was talking about earlier. Let me get the tweet up right now. So big shout out to this. So the expected lineup was almost there. I think Musiala is the one starting as well. So who's the one missing out? It's Gnabry, isn't it? I think Gnabry's the one that's being benched. Hopefully Sane is playing on the left. If he is, I think he's got a really good chance of returning. So yeah, as it said here, Sane was training with the A team yesterday, Gnabry with the B team, and Coman is the undisputed one. So it was always between the other two Germans really, for that last starting 11 spot. So let's see, yeah, here you go. Here's the Bayern 11 as well. Neuer in goal, Pavard, Upamecano, Hernandez, Sane, Kimmich, Goretzka, Coman, Müller, Musiala and Lewandowski. I'm actually a bit disappointed because it looks like Sane's playing on the right again. I don't know if they're going to learn their lesson. Play Sane on the left, that's his best position. I just don't get it. But Musiala could be very interesting there. Müller as well, but I think I might still get rid of the German, and it could backfire, Maybe chasing last week's points, get Benzema in, he blanks, and then Müller's the one that produces the goods. So there's always that risk. But let's get these lineups here. You can see both teams. So for Bayern Munich, I just read the lineup out. For Villarreal, it's Rulli, Estupiñán, Torres, Albiol, Foyth, Coquelin, Capoue, Parejo, Danjuma, Lo Celso and Moreno. So yeah, pretty much what we expect, no surprises there. Let me know what you think of these lineups. I'll also go for the Chelsea Madrid one in a second. Loftus-Cheek right back, Reece James right centre back. I don't know. Reece James as a centre back, that's quite interesting to be fair. I just think he's better as the right wing back, but obviously Tuchel knows much more. Would you recommend Vinicius Jr.? He's a good option, but no, I don't think so, because I prefer Diaz, Benzema, Lewandowski, even Müller for this game. Yeah, Lewandowski is an excellent option for today. It's just, obviously, it's very easy to get caught up in what Benzema's done in the last two games, and he's been fantastic all season. I'd argue Benzema has been the best player in the world this season, but I don't know, Lewandowski's fixture still appeals to me more, and I think Chelsea will bounce back. It doesn't mean they're going to go through, but I think they'll make things a bit more difficult to Madrid. And also, you look at what Chelsea did in the first leg. I mean, they kind of gifted it on a plate for Benzema and Real Madrid. Will Konate start? I believe so, but it's always going to be 50-50 between him and Matip. Ruben Loftus-Cheek played well last game as a right wing back. I think Real Madrid will play defensively, definitely. Real Madrid are a defensive team. Against PSG, completely dominated in the first leg and in the second leg as well. In the first half, PSG should have been out of sight, and then in the second half of the second leg, they capitulated. Donnarumma starting it with the domino effect. So yeah, I think Real Madrid will play defensively. Who do you think is going to get a clean sheet from today? I actually think if there's any team to keep a clean sheet, it will be Bayern Munich. I don't like their defense too much, but I think they'll score 3 or 4, and they're going to be all-out attack, and that's pretty much their best kind of remedy for their bad defense. So I think maybe Bayern Munich. Goretzka, yeah, he makes a huge impact to Bayern Munich as well. Who's a good Sula replacement? I think Pavard. As discussed earlier, Pavard, if you're looking for a like-for-like. Cancelo, Laporte, maybe Konate for a one-week punt. I'm not sure if he's good long-term. And other than that, it's the usual suspects. Van Dijk, Trent, Robertson. I think I'd go for any of those. I don't like the Real Madrid defenders, personally, apart from Militao, who's suspended. So, yeah. Who can get more points? Musiala or Upamecano? Good question. I think they'll both score similarly. So Musiala with an attack and return can get 5-6 points. Upamecano, something similar. I'm not sure who gets higher. Maybe Musiala, but who knows? It's quite tough. What about De Bruyne? I really like him, but I'm not sure if I'd bring him in ahead of a game away from home against Atletico Madrid, especially for a team like City. They're not going to rotate him or anything, and he's in great form, but City can still score a lot of goals without De Bruyne being involved. But obviously, recently, he's been, the main man. Mularo Benzema. I still think Benzema, and his goal scoring record is insane. I think he's got the most goals and assists of any player in the top 5 leagues, and in the Champions League I think he's got the most shots, if I'm not mistaken. I need to double check that, but yeah, a lot of stats would point towards Benzema. Muller's been in bad form for a long time, but he's been decent in the Champions League, which has covered it. Moreno, Danjuma, Lo Celso, Parejo, all super dangerous, definitely. Lo Celso got man of the match in the first leg. Danjuma is probably Villarreal's best player this season, so yeah, I think all of those players can pose a threat, yeah. Los Dreamos says, I have Sane, Salah, Danjuma, Kondogbia and Bernardo Silva. Who to change? Like Sane and Salah are not playing well these days. I don't think they're playing as well as they can or as they have done in the first half of the season, but there are explanations for that. Sane's playing on the right. which obviously is not in our control. It's Nagelsmann's decision, but I think he's just much better on the left. And as for Salah, ever since he came back from the African Cup of Nations, there has been a dip, but the stats are still there. And he got an assist against Man City, almost got another one as well. Salah's still a top-class player. We shouldn't forget that because he's not, producing in UCL Fantasy and FPL to the same degree as before. But yeah, I can understand your frustrations. I'd rather get rid of Bernardo Silva, though, looking at that team. But yeah, I can understand if you end up doing something else in the end. Yeah, Foyth and Pau Torres are decent, yeah. I think Foyth is pretty good. It's just, I don't know, he just seems like he has a mistake in him. Watching him a lot for Argentina and Spurs and Villarreal. I do like him, though. He's got potential, and he's very composed on the ball, when he doesn't have a brain fart, as they say. This is the possible lineup for Bayern. I don't think so. I think they opted it, yeah. Let me double check this. I thought they kind of confirmed it anyway. Yeah, this is pretty much it. It says possible lineup, but this is pretty much what we're getting, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check this on Bayern Munich's Twitter, but Musiala is starting with Müller, Sane on the right. Yeah, it's pretty much all accurate. I just checked the UEFA website. These are all good. For some reason it says possible lineups, but it doesn't really matter. Don't think about it too much. Will Salah start? I believe he will, but there's always the element of doubt that he might be benched. He played the full 90 against City. Lewandowski or Benzema? Go for whoever, mate. Honestly, they're both top class. I'm going for Lewandowski, I think, but both really good. Don't discount Kimmich. Of course not, but I think he has been underwhelming. And is he worth 6.8 million? I don't think so. I'd rather go for Robertson, Trent, Cancelo, etc. But of course, he's a great option on his day. I think he was much better last season and the season before. Do you think Villarreal will score? Yes. I mean, if we go through my predictions, I went for 3-1 Bayern, and I think I might keep that. Real Madrid-Chelsea, I'm not too sure. I might change that prediction. But yeah, I think Villarreal will score. Having said that, if there's any team that's going to keep a clean sheet today, Bayern Munich are the most likely on paper, and I think the bookies would tell you that as well. Thank you, Asterix. The lineups are out. Rudiger to Mendy, I actually probably wouldn't, I just don't like the Real Madrid defenders apart from Militao, who is suspended. Yeah, Sane is in. I'm a bit disappointed that he is, not on the left-hand side. Should I sell Müller? It's difficult because, I'll be honest, I think he could return big. It's just, I still want a piece of the Real Madrid pie, and Benzema is the most informed player in the world. So, I think yes, if that's your only route to get Benzema, I would. But Müller could still go really big. Let's go through his points. Let's go through Müller's points here. They're pretty decent throughout the season. 11 points in matchday 8, 5 in matchday 7, 7 in matchday 6, returns in the first 2 match days. He is still a very consistent player overall. Not his best season overall, but yeah, you can't really underestimate him too much. Should I keep Reece James? But who would you sell him for? That's also another question. Would it be for a hit? What other transfers are you looking to make? So let me know. But yeah, I think you could keep him for now. Yeah, the UCL website has got all the lineups, but I'm not going to go to the UCL website for this because they put random videos up of the highlights and then the video gets blocked pretty much, and I don't want to do that. Is Musiala a better budget midfielder than Fabinho? In terms of attacking threat, definitely. But what I like about Fabinho is he consistently gets you those 5 points and above because of the ball recoveries. I think he's got 48 this season. But yeah, Musiala is a really good budget option. In terms of, if you're looking for a midfielder around 6.5 million and below, who's got offensive potential, it's Musiala for sure. Should I sell Rudiger too? Once again, the same options. Liverpool defender, take your pick there. I'd go for Trent, Van Dijk, Robertson. Then there's also the City players. Laporte, Cancelo. And then you've got Pavard, Davis. There's plenty of options for you. You could even go for Konate for one-week punt, potentially. I think, those are the defenders I'd sell him to. Mahrez or Modric or Havertz. From those 3, I still like Mahrez the most. But for matchday 10... that's where it's a bit different, and I think I'd say Havertz. Would you recommend Parejo as a differential instead of Mahrez, Sane, Coman? He's been good this season, and he's not someone I've talked about, I think, at all. But where is he in the, let me check in terms of points. I think he's right up there, yeah. He's the 5th highest scoring midfielder that is still in the competition. 8 points in matchday 9. He gets some man of the match points from time to time. So he's got 3 player of the match awards. He's really crucial in that midfield. A big part of the Europa League winning campaign. Quality player. Balls recovered, pretty decent. 3 assists. Can even score the occasional goal. He can be on penalties as well. He's a decent option, but I don't think I'd still prefer him over the others, especially when he's up against Bayern Munich away from home. Thank you, The Scrambler. Much appreciated, and it's good to see you here once again. I think you've been here since last year, so thank you very much. 2K overall. Keep on pushing. You can definitely get into the top 1K. Do I save my Limitless? I would personally use it now, Xavier or Javier, but ultimately depends on your team. Sula replacement, once again, what I said to the person who mentioned the Rudiger replacements, the exact same thing. Liverpool defenders, Man City ones like Laporte and Cancelo, etc. Same old thing. Bayern Munich defenders as well. Reece James to Bayern defence. I mean, yes. If you have no Bayern Munich coverage, then yes, defensively. Otherwise, I just keep Reece James. Georgina replacements. That's interesting. Okay, so I think I'd go for Fabinho, Musiala, Parejo, Capoue. And other players would include Rodri. So any of those, if you're looking for someone a bit cheaper, potentially, I'd go for them. Otherwise, Danjuma's great. I think he's the best around 7 million and below. You've also got Foden, Modric. Any of those would be good for you, Mickey. Bernardo Silva, Foden. I prefer Foden. Bernardo Silva has been very consistent with the the attacking contributions. If Benzema scores a hat-trick tonight, yeah, fair enough. Wei-Seng, and obviously condolences for the Bowen captaincy. It was a really good, I like the idea, to be honest, and I never expected Son to get 21 points, despite the fact that I captained him. So, yeah, you never know. Football, you can't get everything right. That's basically how it is. I can see a couple of scares for Real Madrid today. Yeah, definitely. I think Chelsea could push it to extra time or even wrap it up in 90 minutes, but I still think Madrid will go through. That was my original prediction before the first game. I'm very surprised Chelsea lost in the way they did. Werner or Havertz? I really like the idea of Werner this week, actually, but I think I'd go for Havertz just because he's been in form for a long period of time. Top 3 7.4 million midfielders to replace Jorginho. Just like I said to Mickey, it's probably the same thing. Musiala, just for the attacking potential. And then 2 more. Fabinho, just because he's so cheap and gets balls recovered. And the other one would be Parejo. So that would be your top 3, mate. Capoue is not bad either. Should I sell Rudiger for Cancelo? I'm looking to do something similar. I think, yeah. But you don't need to. Best Bayern Munich defender, I think Davis. But let me double check this. Yeah, Davis isn't starting, so I'd say, you know what, Lucas Hernandez and Pavard. From those that are starting, there's always Kimmich, but he's too expensive for me. The reason why I said Davis, obviously he's not starting, by the way, but I really like him when he does start. He gets a lot of balls recovered. He's got attacking potential. Can sometimes play as a left mid. But yeah, Lucas Hernandez or Pavard for me are the best. I don't think Werner's worth a punt. Let's see. Pulisic could come on second half, potentially, but I think I'd mainly go for Havertz anyway. Georgina replacements, once again, Mickey answered that question. Hopefully you got it. Keep Diaz or sell him for someone who starts for sure. I'd keep Diaz, I think. Diaz or Jota, who can start or more nailed? I can't answer that definitively, but I think Diaz is going to start. Jota just played in the Premier League. Diaz played very well against Benfica in the first leg. I'd be very surprised if Diaz doesn't play, but that's just my kind of take on it. Werner or Müller? I think I'd rather go for Müller out of those two still. Who will start, Matip or Konate? I think Konate, but long term, I'm not sure if that will be the case, and I think Matip might start in the semi-finals should Liverpool go through. Thoughts on Valverde as a right midfielder? It just shows that Real Madrid are probably being very defensive. Let me just double check this, but I think you might be right. So the UEFA website has him playing as a right winger, basically, or it could be a 4-4-2, pretty much. Yeah, wouldn't be too surprised actually. I think it's more of a 4-3-3, with Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric. I'm not too surprised. It's a very defensive approach, and they've already got the lead, so why should they go all out? Who takes penalties for Villarreal? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Parejo. But yeah, if I'm wrong, I hold my hands up. It could be Gerard Moreno, but I think it is Parejo. Thank you very much for the super chat, Kat, as always, legend, and also for becoming a channel member. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the UCL content this season, getting down to it now. Thank you very much. And yeah, yesterday we did a triple upload for UCL Fantasy, and we also did a best free hit team video for FPL, so it was a quadruple upload within the space of 12 hours, which was crazy. And things are a bit hectic right now, but we're trying to get, obviously, this deadline stream done now, and a few more FPL videos done before the deadline stream on Saturday. But yeah, obviously it'll be much calmer. It won't be 4 videos in one day again. It's just the crazy schedule we have for UCL Fantasy and FPL. But obviously, thank you very much, Kat, and everyone else who's watching the videos. That's the main reason why we make these videos. I enjoy them, but the main thing is the community and engaging with all of you. So thank you very much, Kat, and yeah, just good to have you on board as always. So thank you very much. Fair enough, Jon Snow. He thinks Jota's going to start. Fair point. No, it might be a case of Jota and Diaz starting, and maybe one of Mane or Salah's benched. I think it's quite difficult, but I personally think Diaz will start. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. Personally, Mahrez and Thiago Silva to Pavard and Mane. I actually like that. It's very bold, and I like it a lot. The only thing is, I still have that doubt in my mind. Does Mane start or not? And I could be wrong, by the way. He was in my best limitless team video, and it actually paid off in Matchday 9 as well when I included him. Mane loves playing against Portuguese clubs, but yeah, I like the moves basically. Is it worth to go on Benzema, Lewandowski, Müller, but inexpensive on 2 5 million midfielders? I'd still rather have a bit more balance personally, Mohamed. But I mean, if 2 midfielders are Rodri and Fabinho, it's not the worst, is it? But I think I'd rather have a bit more balance. Danjuma or Modric? Still Danjuma for me. Alisson or Ederson? For this leg specifically, it's Alisson. Long term, I prefer City defence personally, so I'd go for Ederson. But yeah, I think Alisson is more likely to keep a clean sheet in this match day. Valverde, a good differential. It's not a bad one, not at all, Daniel. But I just don't think I'd go there. I'd rather go for Fabinho, Rodri around the same price. You've also got Parejo, Danjuma. So many options. I just don't know if I'd go for him. Thoughts on Danjuma? I think he's the best option around his price and below. That's the way I see it. How many subs for next week? 5. I think in terms of the final, I need to double check this, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 for every single time it's the first leg of the round. So obviously unlimited transfers for the round of 16, the first leg, but then you get free transfers for the second leg, 5 for the first leg of the quarterfinals, free for the second leg, and then once again it repeats itself. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we get 5. Danjuma Modric, for me it's Danjuma, mate. Moreno took the first against Juve. Fair enough, thank you for that, Lambo. Thank you very much, that's a very good point. I remember Moreno missed a penalty at the Euros, and Parejo, I've seen him take penalties before, but I think I'm wrong about that, so thank you very much for correcting me. Moreno and Danjuma both took pens in the Juve 3-0 win. Yeah, I don't think there is a definitive penalty taker. If Parejo was on the pitch, but I think so. Yeah, that's a really good point. Let me double check this for you. Let's try to, obviously apologies for not knowing this, I probably should, so give me a second. So Parejo against Juventus in the 3-0 win. By the way, he was man of the match in the first leg against them. He played 86 minutes. So yeah, when Danjuma took the second penalty, I'm pretty sure it was in the dying embers of the game. Parejo wasn't on the pitch, but he was for the first penalty. Let me double check this for you and make sure. So Juventus 3-0 Villarreal. I'm pretty sure it was like that. So yeah, come on. Give me the minutes, mate. Give me the minutes. All right, so yeah, so Danjuma scored his penalty in the 92nd minute. Parejo wasn't on the pitch. And Moreno scored in the 78th minute, which was 8 minutes before Parejo came off. So, yeah, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I think it's kind of a case of Moreno, Danjuma, and also Parejo. They can all take penalties. That's the way it is. Obviously, very thankful that Danjuma ended up converting that penalty and having it in the end. What goalkeeper? For me, Alisson or Ederson, if you had to pick. I just have the most confidence in those teams going the furthest, and therefore it's a set and forget goalkeeper. Other good goalkeeper options include Mendy, but I'd rather go for Courtois and Neuer over him. So those are my top 5 goalkeepers. In order, it's probably Ederson maybe, Alisson second. Third, it would be Neuer. Fourth, Courtois, and fifth, Mendy. So yeah, thank you to those who mentioned the Moreno penalty taken like Lambo. Mahrez is out. Potentially from my team, yes, potentially. I'm going to look at this very shortly and just finalise my transfers. Thank you, Wei Sing. Yeah, obviously yesterday it was very hectic, the work rate, yeah. I think the last few weeks has been crazy. It's like a video every single day. So I do think there's more videos than actual days that have gone by, but things will calm down a little bit, I think, eventually. Nunez or Werner? That's a good question. I think I'd still... Maybe I'd take a punt on Werner, potentially. Yeah, once again, Zishan, look, I don't think Mahrez is a bad option. I mean, I brought him in early. He was a great, player for me. The reason why I'm thinking of taking him out is because of budget. I want to get Benzema in for Müller. And unfortunately, if I want to make that move happen and get Cancelo, I need to downgrade someone. And Mahrez is probably one of the best ones to downgrade because he's facing Atletico. I can always bring him back, It's not a kind of goodbye forever. And I like Mahrez a lot. I think he's going to start against Atletico, but I'm just not sure if he's going to get a return. He's pretty ineffective against them in the first leg. They can sit back, absorb the pressure. I think they'll be a bit more adventurous, and if they are, maybe Mahrez will get some very good spaces, but I don't know. Yeah, and I discussed it in my team selection as well. Just because I'm getting rid of Mahrez potentially, it doesn't mean you need to as well. I like Mahrez, and if possible, I would keep him over Modric. But if I want Benzema, I need to make a move. Who will come off if Gnabry comes on later? That's a good point. I think Sane is probably one of the most likely to come off. Either Sane or maybe Musiala. That's the way I see it. Best attackers: Lewandowski, Benzema and Diaz for me. And also I'd put Muller's name in the hat as well. Werner will be the best option if hitting the post and crossbar earn points. Yeah, but I mean, look at his big return against Southampton. But I think I saw a stat, something like 4 of his 8 Premier League goals have come against Southampton, which is crazy. Mount or Havertz? I think I'd still go for Havertz. Mahrez and Jorginho out, Foden, Modric from -4. I'm not sure if I'd do it from -4 personally, but I know why you're doing it, because you can't do one for free, I'm guessing. You can't do Mahrez. Well, actually you can, sorry. You could do Mahrez to Foden, but you can't do Jorginho to one of them, I'm guessing. I'm not sure if I'd do that. Thank you, Zishan. Obviously, look, everyone's got a different team. The way I see it, if you can afford keeping Mahrez, I'd probably do it. I think he's probably City's second best midfielder right now behind De Bruyne, because he's insane right now. Koeman or Modric? I think I'd go for Koeman for the fixture, but I like Modric as well. Yeah, Werner could be a good option, but I just don't think he's as good as Diaz, Benzema, Müller, Lewandowski. Neuer to Ederson for funds, Fodder, goalkeeper for funds, then Kante, Musiala. I like those moves, to be fair, and if you're struggling for moves, why not? I like that Musiala punt. Should I get a Bayern or Chelsea defender? Bayern. I think I'd go for a Bayern one, and I'd go for Lucas Hernandez, or I would go for Pavard. And by the way, another possibility I'm considering is, instead of getting Cancelo, and as much as I really like Cancelo, I've already got double City defence, I've got no Bayern Munich defenders, I might get Lucas Hernandez actually. I really like him. So let me just check this. So Lucas Hernandez, 485 minutes played, 45 balls recovered. So once again, comparing him to Pavard, in terms of balls recovered per minutes played, Lucas Hernandez is even better. What I don't like is he gets these occasional yellow cards, but I'm not sure if Pavard has a yellow card or 2 already this season. Let me double check this just to make sure. Pavard has no yellow cards, so I do like that. He also has a bit of assist potential. Obviously, from time to time, he does play as a right back. So yeah, Pavard and Lucas Hernandez, I think, are the best Bayern Munich defenders. I could get one of them in. So let's say, for example, I'll go for Pavard. And then, unfortunately, I'm 0.3 million off from Mahrez. I don't want to take hits. And look, hits can pay off, but I think they're much better in FPL, especially with the double game weeks, the 38 match days in total. In UCL Fantasy, we only have 13 games or 13 match days, and that's it. So I just don't think hits are necessarily worth it. I rarely take them. I think once, my first ever hit in UCL Fantasy was an accident, as stupid as it sounds. So yeah, let me know, what do you think of this? And I'd be very curious to know, what would you do with this team? So just to give you a bit of context, I've got let's see, how much do I have? I think a bit less. Yeah, I've got nothing left in the bank. I've got 3 transfers to make. Do I get Benzema for Müller? Do I maybe downgrade Mahrez or someone else? Do I get Cancelo or a Bayern Munich defender for Rudiger? I'd be very curious to see your thoughts. I'm going to finalise my team hopefully within the next half an hour, and then just fully focus on your questions and comments. But yeah, that's kind of my big dilemma right now. Mahrez or Danjuma? I think long-term Mahrez, I back City to go through. I don't really think it will be the case for Danjuma. But who's the better UCL fantasy option? For me, it's Danjuma. Look at the points and look at the value. Do I hold Koeman? I think I probably would. Kimmich or Alaba? I'd go for Kimmich. I just don't think he's worth that price. I'd rather go for Cancelo, Robertson, Van Dijk and Trent. Lucas Hernandez or Pavard? If I need to pick one, good question. To kind of break it down, Pavard is 0.1 million more in price, higher. He also has a bit more attacking potential, and he doesn't get yellow cards as frequently as Hernandez, at least in the Champions League this season. But then you look at Hernandez, 0.1 million cheaper, really good, obviously, upside there. And in terms of balls recovered per minutes played, he is superior to Pavard. So I think I'd maybe go for Lucas Hernandez potentially, but I'm 50-50 on it myself. Salah replacement, Kevin De Bruyne. I think Kevin De Bruyne. Let's see who else. I still like Sane a lot. So yeah, Sane, Koeman, Foden, for example, Mahrez. They're all really good options to replace him. Firmino or Jota? Jota for me. Although maybe Firmino's more likely to play in this game. Who knows? Danjuma or Koeman? Still Danjuma for me personally, but you would back Bayern Munich to go through. Yeah, try not to spam the chat, otherwise your question won't be answered. There's no need for that. Timo Werner or Luis Diaz? Still Diaz for me, mate. Should I go for Havertz in place of Salah? I probably wouldn't, mate. Yeah, Mane and Jota risk suspensions of being booked. That's a really good point, actually, that I didn't mention. Thank you for that, Anas. So, yeah, I mean, would you be very surprised if it's a case of Diaz on the left, Firmino up front, and Salah on the right? Not necessarily, actually. I think that the yellow cards kind of wipe over heading into the semi-finals, so it would make sense to not risk it. Transfer out Koeman or Mahrez. Ooh, to Foden, to Foden, Cancelo and Diaz. In that case, I'd rather do Mahrez to... I mean, it's the problem, though. I prefer Mahrez over Koeman. But then... You know what? I'd probably just get rid of Koeman for Mahrez. For Foden. But, yeah, I'm not really a big fan. Or downgrade Danjuma for a better forward. I'd rather maybe downgrade Danjuma, actually. I think Salah will start and he'll do very well, personally. 6.5 million midfielder. Let me double check Musiala, but other than him, there's Fabinho and Rodri. I think Musiala is just about that. He's 6.9. Yeah, I think he started the season around 6.5. Yeah, so in that case, once again, I go for Parejo and the other midfielders that I talk about. Oh, Parejo's 7.8. Okay, forget what I'm saying. My bad for that. I actually really underestimated his price. That's probably why I never considered him. So yeah, 6.5 million midfielder. To make it very simple, I would just go for Fabinho or Rodri. Ball recovery merchants, but that's pretty much what you're working with. Capoue is just a little bit more than what you're asking for. He's decent, but not the greatest option, in my opinion. So yeah, let me see. Yeah, hi Dylan, would you play Limitless now? Yes, I think I would, Lucas, but that's just kind of a personal thing. Fabinho or Kovacic or Kondogbia? I'd go for Fabinho. Muller, Mahrez or Foden, Benzema? Great question. I think I'd go for Foden and Benzema, but both are really good. Welcome, Martín. ¿Qué opinas de Musiala? ¿Es una buena opción? Creo que tiene más posibilidades de hacer un gol o una asistencia, pero también tenés Fabinho que recupera la pelota tanto que creo que es más consistent. Entonces, para mí, yo prefiero Fabinho, pero también me gusta Musiala. Y cuando vos miras las opciones en su precio, creo que Musiala es una de las mejores. Pero para mí, prefiero Fabinho. Gracias, Martín, por la pregunta. Sula, Muller, Mahrez out for Benzema, Koeman and Lucas Hernandez. I actually like those moves, mate. That's fantastic, Amro. Despite the fact that Muller and Mahrez are still very good players, yeah, I think those transfers are looking very good. Let's see what else. Let's try to go through the questions. Yeah, will Salah start? I think he will, mate. Sane or Mahrez? I think Sane, but I'm very concerned about him playing on the right. Want to use Limitless? I'd use it probably right now. Same with you, Lucas. How do you think the Chelsea Real Madrid game is going to go? I'm actually very torn about that. I think Madrid will go through, but I don't know if that's going to be a Chelsea win, a draw. Does it go extra time? It could be any of those things. I still think Chelsea have a good chance. Yeah, Kante's a good option, but I prefer Fabinho just because he's less injury prone. He can also be on penalties when Milner and Salah aren't on the pitch. And not only that, his balls recovered are insane. Any good defenders for around 6 million? Yes, Lucas Hernandez, Pavard, Laporte. I think Laporte is probably the best of the lot. Modric, Mount, Kroos or Danjuma, pick one. For me, Danjuma still. Ramos, Mahrez and Aspi out for Benzema, Rodri and Stones, or Benzema, Musiala and Foyth. Already have Koeman and Sane. I think I'd go for Rodri, Benzema and Stones, mate. As much as I like Musiala and Foyth is a good young player, I think I'd go for the first set of transfers, Aranya. Fabinho, Kovacic, Kondogbia, I'd go for Fabinho, mate. I think he's the best ball recoverer out of the lot. Thoughts on James, Rudiger, Mendy to Robertson, Alisson and Cancelo? Yeah, I actually like those transfers a lot. I'd do it. I think that's upgrades. Yeah, upgrades everywhere. Vinicius to Benzema from -4. That is tricky. This could come back to bite me. I don't think Benzema's going to score another hat-trick. 2 minutes later. But yeah, no, I think that's a tricky one. I think I would have said, you know what, I'd say yes. It's still worth it, but I'm very apprehensive about taking the hit. It's just, yeah. Why transfer out Mahrez? No, I don't think... It's not that I don't think he's going to play. It's just I need a way of finding money for Benzema and for Muller. That's pretty much it. Should I replace Jorginho? If so, who? Should I replace Jorginho? Yes, I mean, I probably would replace him, but he's still a good option. Who do you replace him for? Maybe Fabinho. Fabinho or Rodri, I like. Do you think I need Koeman if I have Sane? No, you don't need him. Diaz or Nunez? Diaz, for sure. Should I change Mendy? If you have a spare free transfer, then yes. Otherwise, no. New to UCL Fantasy, does extra time count towards points? Yes, it does. It does. Obviously, penalty shootouts don't count towards a penalty scored or anything. You don't get goals for that, but extra time does count. While your transfers, I'm in kind of two minds about that, mate. Two minds about that. So, what I'm looking to do, and maybe another thing I could do, and I've seen a few people suggest this, is downgrade Fabinho. But basically, I want Benzema in for Muller. I don't have any Real Madrid coverage, and I already knew that was very risky heading into the first leg. So Benzema in for Muller. Unfortunately, I don't have enough money for that. 0.6 million off. I would also like maybe a Bayern Munich defender or Cancelo, possibly for Antonio Rudiger. And I think Cancelo's the best long term, but I would like a Bayern Munich defensive coverage if possible. And then the alternatives really we have is downgrade Fabinho and have even less squad depth, or downgrading Mahrez maybe to Modric or Foden. So that is kind of what I'm looking to do right now. And even then, despite Mahrez's blank, Foden only outscored him by 1 point because he came on as a sub and got the assists. So, and I think Foden changed the game, If anything, I don't really think De Bruyne deserved man of the match despite his goal, but obviously, there you go. Let me know, actually. I'm going to put a poll out. we love our polls, don't we? So, which transfer do you prefer? So, we're going to do... Let's see. Hopefully, we have enough characters to this. I think we do. So, Mahrez to Foden or Modric. Or we're going to do Fabinho to 4 point... Yeah, just a budget midfielder. All right. So, there we go. Let me know. Be sure to vote. And... that could be the deciding factor. Obviously, I'm not just going to rely on the poll, but in terms of that transfer, that final transfer is going to be the deciding factor. I just don't know between those two. I think I'm going to go for Cancelo and Benzema. I'm still thinking about Bayern Munich defender as well. I just don't like hits too much in UCL Fantasy. If possible, I would try to avoid them. Right now, Mahrez to Foden or Modric is winning, wow, very, very, by a landslide. I like having squad depth, and that's why I don't want to do Fabinho to a budget midfielder. And, I think around his price, Fabinho is probably the best. And also, he's on penalties if Salah and Milner aren't on the pitch. So, yeah, look, right now, it just seems like no contest. Maybe I should ask that question. Mularo Benzema. Look, I actually think Muller can go crazy today. And I backed him to outscore Benzema. And that's one of the reasons why I went for him in the end. But I just think Benzema's in such good form. I'd go for him. And you always have Sane, Koeman, Lewandowski, etc., even Musiala to cover Bayern Munich. Thank you, Stuart. Love the content. Thank you very much. Pick 2, Kulusevski, James, Barnes or Maddison. Okay, so an FPL question. We'll talk more about this obviously in the deadline stream and stuff, but to pick 2, James, Barnes, Maddison, James. Okay, so yeah, Kulusevski and Maddison, mate. That's what I would do, Stuart. Yeah. What are the expected lineups for City? I said earlier what I think is going to be the lineup, so just to kind of say it quickly again, I think Ederson will start. Well done, Dylan. I think Cancelo and Walker will be the fullbacks. Walker's back from suspension. It will be Stones and Laporte as the centre-backs. I think Diaz might make the bench, but he won't start, and Pep talked about this in his press conference today. Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. I think Foden will start with Mahrez, and then it's between Sterling and Grealish. Now, it's not necessarily Sterling playing as a striker. He could play as the left winger, then Foden or Bernardo Silva or De Bruyne play as the false 9. More likely it would be De Bruyne or Foden right now. So that's my guess about the lineup. I'm just not exactly sure about Sterling or Grealish. So yeah, let me know, by the way, who do you think is going to start between those two? Salah or Mahrez or Silva? I'd still say Salah, mate, because of the fixture. And Benfica, by the way, very good Champions League campaign. They deserve more credit, but I just like Salah. Thank you, Harry, for moderating the chat. I appreciate it. Goretzka or Musiala? Goretzka was actually a really good option in the Champions League before. Let me check, by the way. The thing is, there's also a price difference. That's the thing you have to take into account. So, looking at Goretzka's points this season, not too bad. I don't think he even played the full 90. I think he came on in Matchday 9, yeah. I think Goretzka's just more consistent, but Musiala has a bit more attacking threat. But he's cheaper. I think I'll go for Musiala, personally. Let me know, by the way, if you think I'm making the wrong choice there. But yeah, I think the poll is a landslide, by the way. It's an absolute landslide right now. 80% are saying go for Foden or Modric, and I'm guessing most of you would say just go Foden, mate. Don't be an idiot. Salah out, KDB in. Look, as much as I like KDB, he's facing Atletico Madrid away. Salah's facing Benfica at home. I wouldn't do it. Just me personally. It's not a bad transfer. Hola, Omar. Hola amigo, ¿qué defensa del Bayern recomiendas? Para mí, Lucas Hernandez o Pavard. Normalmente me gusta Alphonso Davies, pero no está empezando el partido. Entonces para mí tiene que ser Lucas Hernandez, que es mejor para recuperar la pelota. Y si no, tenés Pavard, que puede dar más asistencias que Lucas Hernández, y también no le dan tantas amarillas. También creo que en la Euro 2020 Lucas Hernández, cuando empezó para Francia, le dieron bastante amarillas. Así que para mí me gustan los dos, y también está una diferencia mínima entre el precio de los dos, pero para mí voy por Pavard. Creo que sí, pero me gustan los dos. Casemiro, Modric or Vinicius? I'd go for Modric, actually. Benzema must have. It's very tricky because I think Müller could do very well. Then you also have Diaz and Lewandowski. But with his form, I'd actually probably say yes, Zayn. Yeah, or Zayd, sorry. Yeah, I'd probably say so. De Bruyne or Salah? I still think Salah, mate. I might be very stubborn, but I think so. Mularo replacement? Once again, Liverpool fullbacks or Van Dijk. Go for any of them. There's Cancelo, Laporte, Pavard, Lucas Hernandez. I'd go for any single one of those options. I wouldn't really bring in a Chelsea defender right now. In my case, I already had two with Rudiger and Thiago Silva. I'm looking to get rid of them, if anything. So yeah, that's plenty of options for you to digest there. Do you think there'll be an upset? I think so. Maybe Chelsea knock out Real Madrid. And I'll actually back Madrid to go through. I was 50-50 on that from the get-go. I think that could be the upset. Benfica, don't rule them out. Don't rule out any of these teams. But I think that's the only game that I really am convinced that Madrid could actually let go. Keep or sell Gundogan? Assad, but how much money do you have? That's the kind of key determining factor, I think. And what are the transfers you're looking to make? 12.6 million for two midfielder suggestions. Okay, so let me try and get my maths right. So, Henry, I'm not sure which midfielders you have already, because, for example, Danjuma you probably already have. I'd say Fabinho. So Fabinho and Danjuma would probably be my picks. And hopefully I got the maths right, so let me double check that. So maybe I didn't actually, because I think that's 13.1 million. Yes, it is. Fantastic maths, Dylan. Fantastic. So to go for someone a bit cheaper than Danjuma, maybe Musiala. I'd go for maybe Musiala. Or the alternative would be Danjuma or Foden, and then just a pure bench fodder option as your second midfielder. If I don't use transfers, will I have extra next round? No. You cannot save or roll transfers in the knockout stages of UCL Fantasy. You can only do that in the group stages. Welcome, Harry. For people unaware, the amount of comments means your question won't be typically seen for a few minutes. Yeah, we're trying to go for every single question. Thank you, Harry, for putting that out. Thank you very much. Ollie, fantastic. Yeah, come on, you can't forget the legend, mate. Let's see. So let's go through the questions I just missed out on. So apologies. I'm trying my very best. Try to be patient. We're going to go through your questions. And let's say, for example, 5 or 10 minutes have passed and I haven't answered your question. You can put your question forward again, but do not spam the chat. That's the only thing I ask for. Captain Benzema, Lewandowski. I think it's very close, but I'd go for Lewandowski for the fixture. Hey, Dylan, just during the stream, seeing the poll. Why do you want to transfer Mahrez? It's just to fund the move. That's basically it. It's not that I want to get rid of him, Nuclear. It's because I don't have enough funds to get Benzema and maybe Cancelo or even Lucas Hernandez or Pavard. That's pretty much it. That's really what I'm thinking about. Hello, Havertz, do you think is unnecessary? I think he's a good option. I think he's probably the best Chelsea midfielder. I don't think he's necessary though, but I also don't think he's unnecessary, if you catch my drift. Should I use the wild card? No, I would use it probably in Matchday 11. Unless you have so many problems with your team right now, I'd probably not use the wild card. Muller, Mahrez to Benzema, Foden this week? Yes, I'd probably do it. Obviously, Cal. Muller and Mahrez can come back to bite you, and I'm also looking to get rid of them as well, potentially. But I like the transfers. Keep Muller out, Diaz. Fair enough. I'm not able to afford that, unfortunately. I can't get Benzema in for Diaz and also get Modric or Foden in for Mahrez, or even a budget midfielder for Fabinho. So, look, I actually don't necessarily disagree with you. It's just I can't afford it for my own team. Danjuma or Bernardo Silva? I actually prefer Danjuma. Edison for Mendy or Fabinho for Alvarez? I'd actually go for Fabinho for Alvarez, mate. It just gives you more flexibility and squad depth. Who's better on ball recoveries and overall points, Hernandez or Pavard? In terms of overall points, it's Pavard, but he's played more minutes. Hernandez is better for ball recoveries per minute. Pavard has more ball recoveries, just to make that clear, but Hernandez has played significantly less minutes. So hopefully that answered your question, Aman. Bernardo or Gundogan? I'm not too sure about that one. I think maybe Bernardo, just because it's a bit more nailed, but I don't like either of them too much. Havertz punt, who says no? I don't say no, to be honest. It's just I prefer Sane still, and a few others around the same price like Mahrez, but he's a good option. Who is better, Jota or Vinicius? When Jota starts, I actually think he's a better option, but if you look at the Champions League this season, Vinicius has definitely been clear. I'd probably say Vinicius just because of how nailed he is. Lewandowski or Benzema for the captain? Once again, I'd go for Lewandowski, mate. Go for your gut. Do not just go for what I'm doing. I'm just offering my opinion. Benzema could easily outscore Lewandowski. Gracias, Omar. Gracias por la respuesta. Otra pregunta. Luis Díaz, ¿crees que juegue o debería venderlo? Yo creo que va a jugar. Y también, como dijo alguien antes, un apunto muy astuto, dijo que Mané y Jota, si le dan una amarilla más, se van a suspender. Así que hay una posibilidad que sea Firmino, Salah y también Díaz. Pero es muy difícil predecir lo que va a pasar con Klopp y la alineación con los delanteros. Pero para mí va a jugar Díaz y por eso lo voy a tener en mi equipo. Pero vamos a ver lo que va a pasar. Pero gracias, Omar, de nuevo. Who's better, Hernandez or Pavard? I'm 50-50 on it, just to make it clear. I think I'd go for Pavard just because he gets fewer yellow cards and he's got a bit more attacking threat. But yeah, and also Hernandez is a bit of an injury-prone player, but yeah, both of them are good. Don't have Danjuma still. Should I bring him in? Tough question. It depends who you get rid of and how much money you have available. So if you can't afford anyone more expensive, even Foden or someone like that, I would go for Danjuma, yes. Should I use Wildcard? Once again, Henry, I wouldn't use it right now because players can get knocked out right now. Yeah. ¿Crees que Bruno Silva juegue? Bruno Silva, I'm probably getting this confused. Omar, ¿estás hablando del jugador de Benfica, Rafa Silva? ¿O estás hablando de Bernardo Silva? Si es Bernardo Silva, creo que va a jugar. Rafa Silva está lesionado para Benfica. Yeah, once again, Juan Diego Gonzalez Losa. What a name, by the way. I'd go for Lewandowski captain. Thiago Silva and Rudiger over Pavard and Van Dijk. I actually prefer Pavard and Van Dijk. I'm guessing that's what you're saying, Christos, that you'd move those two on for the others. Yes, I would do it. Hey Dylan, best replacement for Gundogan. I have 8 million in the bank. Danjuma, Musiala, Fabinho. That's the sort of play I'd look at. Should I get Sterling? I actually would rather go for De Bruyne, even though I think Sterling is less expensive. I almost said more. Otamendi for Thiago Silva? No. He's playing away at home. You know, I like Otamendi a lot, especially this season, but no, I wouldn't do that. Havertz or Mahrez? I'd actually prefer Havertz this week, but long-term Mahrez. Yeah, kind of, I don't want to repeat the Lewandowski Benzema question once again. I've already answered this quite a lot of times, but, you know, always back, you know, just stick with one and go for it. You always have another opportunity tomorrow if you get it wrong. Koeman or Diaz? I would go for Diaz if you had to pick one. Obviously, Koeman's a midfielder, Diaz is an attacker. Sula and Mahrez to Robertson and Modric. Yes, I like those moves, mate. I like them a lot. Obviously, Mahrez is a better pick than Modric, but you can't afford Sula to Robertson otherwise. The alternative for you, Michael, is to do Sula to another Bayern defender around the same price, and there you go. Mularo Benzema. Look, I think Muller can go crazy today, and I'm very apprehensive about selling him, but I prefer Benzema. Reece James or Pavard? ¿Qué opinas, amigo? Buena pregunta. Yo creo que Pavard es una mejor opción porque está jugando con Villarreal, que es un equipo bueno, pero no sé, para mí es difícil porque Reece James es una mejor opción que Pavard, pero si consideras todo, para mí es Pavard. Is the best time to use Limitless? Yes. If you haven't used it already, probably. Diaz or Valverde? Diaz. I'm assuming you're talking about the striker. Midfielder for 6 million? Fabinho. Shivam. Do I pick Muller in for Diaz or do I keep Diaz? I'd keep Diaz, but honestly, just back your gut. I'm just offering my opinion. I could get it wrong. So, my opinion, I'd keep Diaz. It's up to you though. KDB or Mahrez? If you can afford it, I would go for KDB, but Mahrez potentially offers better value for money. I think before the last few weeks, I said Mahrez is my preference, but De Bruyne's form is so good. Jota status, he's all good, but the thing is, he's one yellow card away from suspension, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. ¿Cambiarías a Mahrez y Sula por Havertz y Hernandez? La verdad que sí, Esteban. Sí, lo haría. Thiago or Fabinho? Fabinho. 9 million midfielder who? I think I'd go for Koeman. Either Koeman, Foden or Modric would be my picks. Upamecano, Lucas Hernandez, both good, but I'd go for Lucas Hernandez. Koeman or Modric? I'd go for Koeman. Does one free transfer carry over? No, nothing carries over. My rubbish players are Gundogan, Alonso, Vlachodimos, even Rudiger. Well, if Vlachodimos is your only keeper, then I would sell him. Otherwise, Sina, just keep him. The other players, yes, you can get rid of Gundogan, I think. Gundogan and maybe Alonso or Rudiger. Take your pick. Keep one Chelsea defender. So that's what I would do. Best Sula replacement, once again, mate, I think Liverpool players, take your pick there. I'd rather go for the fullbacks and Van Dijk, Cancelo, Laporte, Lucas Hernandez and Pavard, the same options as before. Thank you for the Super Chat, Shiva. Much appreciated, mate. Midfielder for 6 million. I think I answered your question already, mate, but obviously thank you for the Super Chat. I think I would go for Fabinho, pretty much. I think Fabinho, if you're looking for someone else, there's Rodri, because the rest, like Parejo is 7.8 million, you got Musiala at 6.9 million, etc. But thank you for the Super Chat, mate. Hopefully you got the answer to that question. What's your final plan? It's literally to do Benzema for Müller, even though I'm apprehensive about it, and then either downgrade Mahrez or someone else to fund the other moves as well, and looking to get Cancelo or a buying defender in for Rudiger. And I really like Cancelo. The only reason I got rid of him was because he wasn't available for a match day and I had to get rid. So, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. But I have no Bayern Munich defensive coverage. I don't like them too much defensively, but sometimes it's good to cover different teams, especially, I think Bayern are the most likely team to keep a clean sheet today, and maybe arguably more likely than City in matchday 10. So, yeah, I think the poll is very, very conclusive from you lot. So, over 300 of you voted, and pretty much 3/4 of you voted for Mahrez to Foden or Modric. And if we look at the poll on my channel, I think half of you voted for Foden and only 20% for Modric in terms of a midfielder around that price. So thank you very much. We're going to end that poll right now. Mahrez or Sane? I think I'd go for Sane, but I like both of them a lot. Best buying defender, Lucas Hernandez or Pavard? If I had to pick one, maybe Pavard, but both of them are really good. Yo va de gastar mi inglés y hablas español también. No, de nada, pero la verdad mi inglés es mucho mejor, es todo natural. También con el español o el castellano me cuesta a veces porque pienso mucho en lo que voy a decir, pero siempre lo hablo en casa, pero el inglés es mucho mejor para mí. Pero gracias, Santo, y buena suerte para la jornada 10. Captain Benzema or Lewandowski? I would go for Lewandowski, mate, once again. Go for whoever you want. Mahrez and Sane to KDB and Musiala? I actually wouldn't do that, Anik. No, not for me. Thoughts on Havertz? I think he's one of the best midfielders this week. I actually included him in my best Limitless team. But would I bring him in? I'm not too sure. Because I'm so torn between Chelsea and Madrid, actually. I think Madrid will go through, but I don't know what's going to happen today. Worth doing Mahrez to KDB? If you have enough money, then yes, and it doesn't jeopardise the rest of your team, Sidindra. Silva to Foden, Sula to Pavard, and Coman to Modric? Yes. I'm not sure about Coman to Modric, but if it's to fund the other moves, then fair enough, mate. I would do it in that case. ¿Qué opinas de traer a Konate y sacar a Thiago Silva? El problema, Alonso, es que yo creo que Konate va a jugar en la jornada 10, pero no sé si Liverpool llega a la semifinal, no sé si va a jugar de nuevo Konate. Puede ser Matip y Van Dijk, así que depende también del Premier League y también la FA Cup que pasa ahí. Así que no sé si es una buena opción a largo plazo, si entiendes. Salah out, KDB in, Sula out, Van Dijk in, Bernardo Silva out, Danjuma. To be honest, I like all those moves, but I wouldn't get rid of Salah personally. I think he will produce. Let's see, how far behind are we? Probably very far behind. So, yeah, let me try catch up. Upamecano or Stones? Upamecano, although Stones is good. ¿Cuál escogerías de capitán para esta fecha? De nuevo, yo diría que Lewandowski para el primer día, y el segundo día creo que voy por Salah. Lucas Hernandez or Upamecano? I'd go for Hernandez. Yellow card, don't get carried forward in the semi-final. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it would make sense for Mane and Jota to be benched, unless I'm getting that wrong. Musiala or Coman? Coman, if you can afford it. I already have Lewandowski and Benzema. Should I trade Müller for Luis Diaz? Oof, good question. That's really tough, actually. I don't know if I'd sell Müller. Unless you can make a really good upgrade somewhere else, I think I'd just keep Müller, despite how good Diaz is. ¿Qué opinas de... Oh, yeah, I already answered that question. Sorry. Captain, yeah, I'm going for Lewandowski personally. Just back your gut. Benzema, Modric, Coquelin for Mahrez, Kante. Yes, I like those moves, to be fair. Obviously, Mahrez can... he's a great player, but I like those moves. Alternative to Bernardo Silva, Danjuma, Musiala, and Fabinho. Fabinho or Danjuma? I think Fabinho's the better pick long term, but Danjuma is just a more explosive one. I'd go for him this week. What's the best transfer to do midfield? I have Mahrez, Bernardo, Sane, Danjuma, Mahrez. I think I'd just get rid of Bernardo, Pedri. If you can afford it, I'd do Bernardo, maybe to Fabinho. I think you put Mahrez twice, so I'm not sure who your other midfielder is, by the way. Bernardo Silva, Foden. Definitely Foden for me. I want to get rid of Sane or Coman. Who do you think I should get rid of? I personally prefer Sane. The only thing I keep on saying is that he's playing on the right, which isn't his strongest position. Goretzka or Bernardo Silva? I'd actually prefer Goretzka. Joao Felix, biggest differential, mark my words. Look, if anyone does, produce something for Atletico Madrid offensively, it will be Joao Felix, I think. But I just don't think he's worth that price, especially when Atletico Madrid set up defensively against a team like City. Mandava, Rulli, Musiala plus 0.9 million, or Laporte, Villar, and Modric. Honestly, look, both of them are good, but I'd go for Laporte, Villar, and Modric, because Laporte, obviously a long-term option, he's the best around his price and below. Mandava I like a lot, but then you look at Rulli, is he really worth it? I don't think he's going to keep a clean sheet today. We've got less than half an hour, by the way, for the deadline. I'm going to start locking in my team. I'm very, very apprehensive about any of these transfers, really, especially getting rid of Muller for Benzema and also Mahrez potentially. Reece or Thiago? Good question. I think Thiago Silva is better for ball recoveries, and that's why I tend to favour him. Reece James obviously has that explosiveness. I think I'd go for Thiago Silva. Already answered that question, Henrik. What should I do? Muller to Benzema or Diaz to Benzema? That's a good question. I think if you can afford it, now, you know what, I'd still do Muller to Benzema. Obviously, there are doubts about Diaz starting potentially. Musiala, Fabinho, I'd go for Fabinho. Sterling, Diaz, and Was out for Vinicius, Danjuma, and Musiala. I'd rather go... I wouldn't do Diaz to Vinicius, mate. But Sterling, yeah, I like the other moves. But I'm not sure about Diaz out for Vinicius. What about Nacho? Yeah, he's not a bad shout, but I'm not too sure, mate. Militao's the only defender I like from Madrid, and even then, he's obviously suspended. Benzema para ti es importante tenerlo, o aparte de Lewandowski, ¿qué otro delantero usarías? Y creo que sí, porque en la jornada 9 fui de... Bueno, mi rank fue malísimo porque no tenía Benzema, así que sí, creo que es muy importante. Tampoco la pavada, no lo necesitas sí o sí, pero para mí es el segundo, el segundo mejor delantero del mundo, o por lo menos en UCL Fantasy, así que para mí es muy importante tenerlo, pero también si saco a Müller, yo creo que él puede hacer un trabajo muy bueno en contra Villarreal, así que es muy difícil, pero sí, es importante tenerlo, pero no imprescindible. Can we use Limitless Chip in the final? Yes, you can, but I just don't think the upside is there, mate. The only thing I like about the Limitless in the final is that you cover all bases, basically. I remember I didn't have Coman when he scored the Champions League winning goal against PSG, and the Limitless will obviously get you that player. You'd probably go for Coman in that case. But other than that, I just don't know. I just don't really like the Limitless there. De Bruyne or Foden, if you can afford it, De Bruyne, but Foden's probably better value for money. I did a mistake. I have Salah, not two Mahrez. Yeah. Once again, Pedri, I'd get rid of Bernardo Silva, mate. If you can, to Fabinho, and that gives you enough money to make other moves, in your defence and attack. Best midfield under 6.5, for me, it's Fabinho. Two defenders del Bayern, o dos defensores del City y dos defensores del Liverpool. Ok, entonces Lucas Hernandez y Pavard de Bayern Múnich. Del City, muy fácil, Cancelo y Laporte. Y de Liverpool un poquito más difícil, pero creo que pondría a Trent Alexander-Arnold y también a Robertson. Así que, I don't know why my accent changes for pronouncing names, by the way. Sula to Robertson, Muller to Benzema, Mendy goalkeeper to Sevilla, and Bernardo Silva to Modric from -4. To be honest, I like those moves, mate. I like them, yeah. I think I would go for it. If that's the only way you can afford it, by the way, you have to take that -4, then yes. What you could do, though, is just keep Bernardo Silva, because despite the fact that I do back Modric to be a better option, I don't think he's going to outscore Bernardo by 4 points. What I think is going to happen, potentially, is Bernardo gets 2 or 3 points, maybe he gets an attack in return, and Modric scores similarly. And Modric is more likely to score 4 points and above, but not outscore Bernardo by 4 points or more, if you know what I mean. So basically, don't do Bernardo Silva to Modric, do the rest. Excited for the game? Yeah, fairly. I think this will be quite interesting. I wasn't able to watch the games live last week, watching The Batman again for the 4th time in cinemas. ¿Qué piensas de Mount? Creo que es una buena opción en ese precio, pero no sé si lo pondría ahora. Para mí prefería Danjuma, Fabinho, Foden, ¿qué más? Estoy olvidando Coman, Sané, Mahrez. Sí, entonces para mí no, pero es una buena opción. Welcome, Alex. I hope you're doing well as well. Is Vinicius a good differential? He is a good differential, but I think Benzema there's a huge difference between the two, and he's worth the extra. Will Mane start? The thing is, Mane is one booking away from a suspension, so is possible that Jota and Mane, who both have the same risk, both of them could be benched. So, look, normally I'd say yes, I think Mane will start, but right now I'm not too sure, mate. What do you think about Mane? Yeah, I think he's a great option when he starts, and he's got a great record against Portuguese opposition, but I don't know. Thank you, Catalin. Once again, like I said in Spanish, my English is much more natural and better, but I do speak Spanish, at home all the time, basically. Weird flex, but okay. I can see someone type that furiously right now. Sell Correa, buy Mason Mount. To be honest, yes, I think that's a good move actually. And Mason Mount deserves a few more plaudits and mentions. It's just he hasn't really done that well. J-Ram, you already. I'm not sure what the problem is because you said please answer. I did answer it, and for me, personally, I would go for Foden long term. Havertz is better for this week though. Saka, Mahrez y Luis Díaz adentro, Benzema y Musiala. No sé. Me gusta Benzema y Musiala, pero como dúo prefiero a Mahrez y Díaz, creo. Así que no sé si lo haría. That Spanish, sheesh. Thank you very much. Obviously, once again, I don't think it's the greatest Spanish in the world, but thank you very much. Will Foden play? I believe so, Jan, yes. Fourth time. Wow, is it that good? Yes, I think so, mate. I think it's the best Batman film, but for me, the best film overall, potentially in the comic book universe, is The Dark Knight. But the Batman for me is right up there. Personally, I'm surely there's going to be a few haters in the chat. Thank you, Stomped. Good luck for this weekend. Thank you. Good luck for you as well. Best three forwards for my limitless team. I would say Benzema, Lewandowski, and Diaz. But if you're unsure about Diaz starting, which is fair enough, then I would go for Thomas Müller. Diaz or Jota? Diaz for me. Coman versus Fabinho. Very different price points, to be fair. I'd rather have Fabinho, and then you can spend elsewhere. Bernardo Silva por Musiala. Sí, prefiero Musiala, pero no lo haría por un -4. Lo haría, por gratis, diría. Which languages do you speak? Nothing special. I'm not Petr Cech or Wenger. I only speak two, English and Spanish. I'm guessing you like The Batman then. Great movie. Yes, definitely, mate. It's just my type of film, and it made me want to play all the games again, watch the animated series, read the comics, etc. I read the Long Halloween comic after that, so yeah, don't call me a nerd, please. Havertz por Danjuma? No lo haría. A pesar de lo bueno que es Havertz, en este momento, prefiero a Danjuma. Koeman versus Firmino, you already answered that. Hey, yellow card was not carried into the semi-final last year. Yeah, I think I already addressed your question, mate. Yeah, I see what you mean because I mentioned the Mane thing again. So maybe you're making a good point. I need to double check that. This is the thing, actually, you make a good point because, I don't know why this message is coming up, by the way. Yeah, so when I check Transfer Market and all these different sites to check this risk of suspension, Mane and Jota weren't there. So that's a good point, actually. I think maybe I've overstated the importance there. So good point there. Thank you very much for pointing it out. Buena suerte, Digan. I want it. Oh no, don't say Boquita. Oh no. But buena suerte para vos también, Andres. Buena suerte. Bernardo Silva to Fabinho. Yes, I would do it. Who are the best three forwards for me? The ones you see on screen: Benzema, Lewandowski, and Diaz. Müller could do very well today, though. Hey, Dylan, keep Müller and get Benzema for Diaz. If you can afford it, then potentially yes, but I don't know. Diaz potentially offers better value for money. Best 7.5 million midfielder. To be fair, Mount is up there. Mount, Danjuma. For me, it's Danjuma. So it's Danjuma. Then you have others like Fabinho, who's really good. And then obviously Mount, etc. Best joker is Heath Ledger. Yeah, I agree. I like Mark Hamill the most. I think he's the most comic book accurate. But yes, in film, for me, the best Joker is Heath Ledger. I like Joaquin Phoenix's take a lot as well. And Jack Nicholson is very underrated now. He's the best actor to have played Joker, in my opinion. But yeah, he doesn't really get the plaudits nowadays. Yeah, Dark Knight any day. That film was amazing when it came out. Yeah, but not just that. The trilogy in general, especially Batman Begins, very underrated, in my opinion. Would you transfer out Sane in some case? Salah, sorry. No. Look, there is an argument to be made, and it's not like you have to have Salah, but I personally wouldn't do it. Yeah, once again, I'd do Benzema Modric in, mate, for Mahrez and Kante, potentially, yeah. Foden or Danjuma, please help. I prefer Danjuma, to be fair. It's just Foden is probably better long term because I see City going far. Not the same with Villarreal personally. Un defensa de máximo 6.6 millones no puede ser de Liverpool. Si no estoy equivocado, Cancelo el mejor. Para mí Cancelo es el mejor. Si no tenés a Aymeric Laporte y también hay algunos otros como Pavard y Lucas Hernandez. Así que creo que ellos son los mejores si no está mirando a los defensores de Liverpool. Tu predicción de la final y el campeón. Creo que va a ser una final entre Man City y Liverpool y va a ganar... En este momento creo que Liverpool. Creo que City es el mejor equipo, pero en la Champions Liverpool tiene esa historia que City no tiene. Creo que City va a ganar la Liga Inglesa y quizás la FA Cup, pero la Champions creo que va a ganar Liverpool. Pero la verdad es muy difícil, 50-50. Creo que uno de esos dos va a ganar la Champions. Limitless midfield. Check out my Limitless video, mate, where I break it down in detail. I'd go for the exact same midfield there. So I think it was Mane, Salah, if I'm not mistaken, Havertz, De Bruyne, and who was the other midfielder? I think it was Sane, yeah. Muchas gracias. I can't lie. Whenever I see muchas gracias in the first few words of a sentence, I think it's going to be, followed by afición, esto para vosotros. Sí. But yeah, sorry about that, Mora. Gracias por tus consejos, Dylan. Éxitos en esta jornada de Champions League. Igualmente, y muchas gracias por ver el video y buena suerte. Havertz or Mahrez? I prefer Mahrez long term. But for this match day, maybe Havertz. But to be honest, I'm going to look at long term and go for Mahrez, mate. But yeah, by the way, I need to actually lock in my transfers. The chat is really fun and engaging. I'm trying to get for everything, but I need to actually lock in my transfers. Who are you captaining? Lewandowski. Which Bayern defender? Pavard or Lucas Hernandez? Any of them are good. Just listening in while biking home. Wow. Enjoy your bike, your journey home, Flying Dutchman. Who's going to be your captain? Yeah, I think I'm sticking to Lewandowski, even if I bring in Benzema, to be fair. Benzema, Modric, yeah, I already answered that question, mate. You know what? I'm not even going to bother at this point. Thank you for the super chat, Tim. Much appreciated. Benzema, Lewandowski for captain. I'm personally going for Lewandowski. And I said this in my team selection. I think it's almost 50-50, but I lean more towards Lewandowski. I look at what Bayern Munich did in the second leg. Last time out, 7-1, Lewandowski, 24 points. And also, Bayern Munich have scored the most goals at home of any Champions League team, almost double second place, which is Manchester City. So I would go for Lewandowski. This is probably Nagelsmann's most important game as a Bayern Munich manager. Neuer or Ederson? I think Ederson personally, but if you're looking at this match day specifically, Neuer is more likely to keep a clean sheet in my opinion. But once again, thank you, Tim. By the way, your DP reminds me a bit of Uruguay. I'm not sure if it comes from that. I'm guessing it doesn't, but it's just the sea and the sun. I'm overthinking it, but thank you very much. Hola, Vinicius or Müller? Para mí, Müller. If I'm using Wildcard, should I use that team or the one in your previous video? Well, this team that you see here is just my team. I would use the one in my Wildcard team video, mate, if you are using it, pretty much, yeah. You can improve a few things that I'm not able to without taking hits. Thank you, Peshang. Thank you, Dylan, for the hard work. Keep it up. Thank you for tuning in, mate. So yeah, it's always good to have all of you with in the chat, and talking about football basically. So thank you very much. Musiala, Fabinho, or Mount? I personally would go for Fabinho just because he's a safe option, 5 points or more most of the time. But the other two are good. And in terms of attacking potential, Mount and Musiala are obviously clear. Okay, so Benzema captain or not? No, look, it's a good option, John. It's just I prefer Lewandowski slightly. All right, I'm going to lock in my transfers and... getting rid of Mahrez. Oh, Lord have mercy. I think I might just get Foden, for Mahrez and just kind of soften the blow a little bit that way. And then Mahrez scores, Foden's benched, I cry, and Pep Guardiola says, more than you believe. But let's wait and see. I think I might just do this. No Bayern Munich defensive coverage as well is a bit... You know what, I'm going to put another poll out. Oh my God. I love my polls, don't I? So, which defender do you prefer? Obviously, in isolation, I think the answer is quite simple, but I've already got two City, defensive coverage. So, Cancelo or, let's say, Bayern defender. So, let's go for this. Let me know. Obviously, thank you very much to everyone who voted in the last few polls as well. Let me try go through all of these questions. I'm going to try locking my team very soon. And it's not like I want to leave it for the last minute. I literally tried... Well, it's not I try. I just overthink these things. And I want to get the best decision possible. Muchas gracias. I've done... let's see. Wait, I just missed something. Oh, I hate when I get a question and it just goes down. Foden or Bernardo? Para mí, Foden. Gabriel. Sí, para mí, Foden. Great call, Lewandowski at home, mate. I'll lock it in. Thank you, Tim. It's just, look, Bayern Munich are a bit of an iffy team, but offensively you can't deny their quality, and they haven't. No opposition against Bayern Munich at the Allianz have kept a clean sheet, and it's just something that's happened for years now. So that's just the way I see it, mate. KDB versus Mane on the Limitless. I think I'd go for Mane if I had to pick one, but KDB is in better form. Valverde, yeah, 6 million, great differential, fair enough. Maybe I should mention him more. It's just I prefer Fabinho and a few others, but yeah, he's good. Welcome, Aiden. So your team, what should I do? I think unless there's a similar team, but to summarise, you do have two very expensive goalkeepers, and I think if you need money, you ultimately have to downgrade one of them. Even if it's not ideal, Aiden, I would maybe downgrade one of your goalkeepers. It's just very tricky to do it right now. Otherwise, just focusing on your normal team, trying to upgrade Gonzalo Ramos would be ideal. Maybe to go to Diaz or Muller to Benzema for sure. Now, to facilitate that, you need to find money, and Mahrez could be your cash cow. You can do, for example, Mahrez to Fabinho maybe. Georgina could go up to Mason Mount, and then maybe Muller can become Benzema. So hopefully you got that, Aiden. Let me know if you've got the money to do that. Do transfers roll over? No, they don't in the knockout stages. Choosing KDB as captain, fair enough, good luck. Just bear in mind, Manish, and hopefully you get this and everyone else, do not captain someone who plays on the Wednesday. Captain someone who plays today, and if they don't do that well, you can change it during the substitution window after the matches are done today and before the next set of matches start. So captain someone today like Lewandowski or Benzema, and tomorrow go for KDB. So hopefully you got that. Mauta is the flag of Kiribati. Okay, yeah. Apologies to him. It reminded me of Uruguay. Okay, apologies. That's just me being ignorant. Thank you very much. And I'm definitely going to be searching that up. So I've heard of that place, by the way. But yeah, thank you very much for that. Sorry if you answered before, Musiala or Foden this game week. This game week, Musiala. Long term, I prefer Foden. Thank you, Jose Miguel Barba. What a name. Once again, my Spanish could definitely be better, but it has improved in recent years, I'd say. Studying in school did help. Kovacic or Fabinho? Fabinho, mate. Fabinho to Musiala and Trent to Van Dijk? No. I think you're actually downgrading, if anything. Coman or Modric? Para esta jornada, prefería a Coman. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much for tuning in. 4 uploads in a deadline stream within 2 days. Rest day deserved this week. The thing is, though, I still have the transfer tips video to make, and I was already working on it today. And then there's the team selection, and also potentially the best wildcard team for FPL. And then there's the deadline stream, and then there's a reaction stream, and then we have another set of matches. So there's no break, mate. There's no break. The break will come during the summer break, but there'll still be some videos about from time to time. Mount or Danjuma? I actually prefer Danjuma, mate, personally. Pick one between Werner, Havertz and Mount. Havertz for me, Aranya. Mount is an interesting price, though, but I think I'd go for Havertz. ¿Por qué no lo pones a Mahrez? No, me gusta Mahrez. El problema es que necesito plata o dinero para obtener a Benzema. Y desafortunadamente necesito reemplazar a Mahrez. Eso es, porque estoy pensando en sacarlo. Yeah, Mark, let's see. Yeah, Fabinho, Bernardo, or Foden. I mean, they're all different price points. I definitely wouldn't go for Bernardo. Let's put it that way. If you already have a budget midfielder, Mark, hopefully you're catching this, then I would go for Foden. But if you don't have one, then I would go for Fabinho, someone cheaper, and then you can improve the rest of your squad. So hopefully you got that, and that should be pretty clear. Rudiger or Silva? I think I'd go for Silva. Thank you for so many questions. And who would you go for? Vinicius, Koeman, and Cancelo, or Benzema, Koeman, and Ederson? Oof. Oh, Jesus. I'd go for Benzema, Koeman and Ederson, mate. Very tough, though. Benzema, Havertz or Lewandowski captain? I'm going for Lewandowski, personally. Wildcard for the final or semis? I'd do it probably for the semis, but it depends how your team looks, mate. It could be different in the end. Who's a better captaincy option between Benzema and Lewandowski? They're both really good, mate. Benzema's in better form, but I'd probably go for Lewandowski. Okay, you know what? I'm going to make this transfer because by the time I look back at the clock, my heart skips and it's already 8, and then I delete my team and there's no more UCL Fantasy videos and everyone celebrates. But I think I'm just going to do this. I think I'm just going to get Foden in for Mahrez. I prefer Mahrez, just to make that very clear. It's just I need Benzema, don't I? I need him. But yeah. And by the way, let's see this poll. 74% just saying Cancelo. Yeah, just don't overcomplicate it, Dylan, as always. All right, I think I'm just going to make these transfers. It's between Foden and Modric, by the way. I'm still thinking of Modric, but mamma mia, it's so tough, isn't it? UCL Fantasy is tough, man. It's a tough game. It's a tough game. All right, I'm just going to put one more last poll, even though we did it in the channel again. But thank you to everyone who obviously voted in it. Just curious to see your opinions as well. Transfer Laporte in, yes, I think so. Especially if you only have one City defender or none, basically. Okay, so this is pretty much the... Actually, you know, I'll include Mount in this. I'll give him his due here. So we'll put Foden, Modric, and Mason Mount. This was quite a commonly asked question anyway. Alright, so we'll put that. Oh my god, I should stop doing this. I don't know if I do it for the adrenaline or something, but Koeman or Mahrez. This week I'd go for Koeman, Gabriel, but long-term Mahrez is my preference if that gets... So basically, lo preguntaste en español. Koeman para esta jornada, pero Mahrez a largo plazo. Musiala or Mount? Mount, if I had to pick one. Thank you, Aiden. Laporte for Sula, yes, great transfer, mate. By the way, you probably hate Laporte, don't you? Because he kind of disrespected United, but, you know, just ignore him. Mularo Diaz. Long-term Diaz. And look at that. Foden's already winning. But it's quite tight, actually, between him and Modric. That's quite interesting. It wasn't the same before. Bobby Perez. What a name. Who do you think is more offensive out of Lucas Hernandez and Pavard? Pavard. I kind of broke it down earlier. So Pavard is 0.1 million more expensive. He's got more minutes played. So he's got fewer injury problems. But Lucas Hernandez is cheaper. He gets more yellow cards, but he gets more balls recovered per minute. But yeah, who's more offensive? Pavard for me. Sane or Koeman? Sane for me still. KDB and 3.9 million defender or Foden and Robertson? Foden and Robertson. This is what I mean. I prefer De Bruyne, but if it's going to weaken the rest of your team, then no. Just go for Foden. Foden or Koeman? I actually prefer Foden long term. For this week, probably Koeman. Muller or Diaz? Diaz long term, like I said. Captain Kai Havertz? Why not? You can always change the captaincy tomorrow if it doesn't go right. Best mid under 6.1. To be honest, Cena, I'd go for Fabinho. I'd go for neither of them. Best 7 million midfielder? I have KDB, Sane, Danjuma, and Fabinho. If it's around 7 million, then I'd say Mason Mount potentially. I'd go for... Yeah, you've already got Fabinho. That's the thing. I'd probably say Mount if you can afford it, Sidindra. Bad if I use Villarreal players today and sub out tomorrow? Not really. And once again, to anyone watching, if you're not aware, everyone who's playing on the Tuesday, put in your starting 11, please. You know, do not bench any of them and captain someone who's playing today. And those that are on your bench should be playing on the Wednesday. So hopefully that's clear. Diaz or Vinicius? I prefer Diaz personally, but Vinicius is still a good option. Best Bayern defender, once again, I'd go for Lucas Hernandez or Pavard. If I had to pick, maybe Pavard because of fewer injuries, less yellow cards. That's pretty much it. And also more attacking threat. Best mid under 7.5 million, I'd say Danjuma or Mason Mount and Fabinho. Those are my top three. Ake, not a bad shout, but Diaz is coming back soon. So I think he's going to be back for the semi-finals should City go that far. So I wouldn't go there. It's a bit similar to Kanate. Welcome, Ashraf. Silva to Foden, Sula to Pavard, and Koeman to Modric. Yep, I would only do Koeman to Modric if you need that money to do the other moves. Ashraf, sorry. Benzema, Muller. I prefer Benzema, but Muller can go crazy today, and that's why I'm very, very worried about getting rid of him. Kimmich or Trent? For me, Trent. Yeah, I'd go for Trent. I like Kimmich though. Mount or Fabinho? Fabinho. Mane or Havertz? Good question. I think I would go for Mane. Benzema or Muller? Yeah, Benzema. Mount or Fabinho? Fabinho. Diaz or KDB? Diaz. If you're on about the striker, then yes. Musiala or Parejo? I'd go for Musiala. Sterling or Koeman? I'd go for Koeman. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try answer the rest of the questions soon, but I'm going to just basically make my transfer. I think I'm just going to do this, basically. Yeah, and because I'm very unsure about Real Madrid versus Chelsea, I think I'm just going to go that way. I'm just going to do this. Keep Thiago Silva. Now watch Rudiger score. Watch Mahrez get a few assists or something, and Muller score a hat-trick. But yeah, these are my transfers. Let me know what you think, by the way, before I confirm them. I would have 0.4 million remaining. Muller to Benzema, Mahrez to Foden, and Rudiger to Cancelo. Just to make it clear, the only reason why I'm doing Mahrez to Foden is to fund Muller to Benzema. Because even if I did Rudiger to, let's say, for example, a Bayern defender, I wouldn't be able to get Benzema, and that's why I didn't have him in Matchday 9. And also, I thought Muller would actually outscore him, to be fair. Musiala, Parejo, once again, I go for Musiala. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Mark. W Stream, thank you. I've seen a few of those comments today, but yeah, thank you very much. It's nice to see. Hopefully I don't get L Stream comments very soon. Dylan, tu español es excelente, bro. Muy bien. FPL en español 2022. Let's do it. No sé si haría en español, pero siempre estoy dispuesto a responder a preguntas en español durante los streams o también en los comentarios de videos. Así que sí, voy a ver. Who are you making the captain? Lewandowski. Alright, so let's see. Let's see if any of you are... Yeah, just let me know what you think of the transfers. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the similar, kind of comments. Yeah, once again, Sonny, my captain's Lewandowski. And remember, you can change the captain. I think you made the right choice with them transfers, but football's a weird game. Exactly, that's... Like, I don't know if it's true. Like, I don't know if it's the right choice, but... Yeah, football's a weird game. Like, it could easily backfire. Muller ends up, getting the double-digit return. Benzema blanks. Don't go for Koeman. Yeah, I'm not thinking of getting Koeman myself. But I'm seeing a few people saying Koeman or Foden or Modric. Koeman this week is my favourite, Talia. But, yeah, long term I go for Foden. I'd just go for Foden. Bro, should have chosen Modric. Foden? Nah, mate. I mean, I haven't done my transfers yet, mate. The thing with Modric is he gets 4 points and above consistently, and he was my first pick, to be fair. Foden is better offensively, but I think he's less consistent. And whenever I get Foden, by the way, he just blanks. That's pretty much it. So let me see if I can go back. But yeah, most people are going for Foden in the chat anyway. And to be honest, I'm just not too sure. I would want one City midfielder, but they are facing Atletico Madrid, so... It's a tough one. Yeah, I'm going to be confirming my transfers very soon. Captain Muller or Sane? I'd go for Sane, but I think Muller's good, and Lewandowski's still my favourite out of the lot. Most nailed City defender? Easy, Laporte. It's Laporte, mate. Yeah, I'm going to confirm my transfers very soon. It's literally Modric or Foden, which is really, really playing mind games on me. I just don't know who to pick between them. So I think I'm just going to make some transfers very soon. You know what? We've got less than 2 minutes, so I think I'm just going to do it, mate. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is bad because I also need to sort my bench, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, because everyone on my bench is fine, but still, it's not ideal to make, leave these decisions for so late. So, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to go like this. I might back my original gut and go for Modric. I'm so unsure, though, about Modric versus Foden. I'll be completely honest with you. That's just the way I see it. It's very, very tricky to pick between them. So we have 1 minute and a half left. Lock in your teams. Don't do what I'm doing and diver and delay. Just get those transfers done, mate. Get those transfers done and you'll be better for it. So yeah, we've got just a minute left. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. What am I doing? All right, so yeah. I think I'm just going to do this. I think I'm just going to go for Modric or Foden. Oh, mamma mia. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I'm going to go for Modric, I think. Watch this backfire. Yeah, we'll go for this. I know people are probably in the chat saying, no, go for Foden. Yeah. We got less than a minute. Oh my God, this was mad. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Modric. This is crazy. Just don't panic. Just relax. I'm panicking, by the way. Yeah, okay, that's just there. Bye-bye. I don't want to look at it again. Okay, let me just make sure. I think, yeah, Benzema. As much as I'm tempted to captain him, I think I'm just going to go about it this way. Yeah, and there we go. I'm just going to do this. So how many players do we have playing today? Thiago, Silva, Danjuma, Sane. So we've got 6 players today, and then we've got, well, because Villar doesn't really count, does he? So this is very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we're pretty much locked in now. I did it just in time. Oh my God, what am I doing? Imagine the site crashed. I would only have myself to blame there. Yeah. Damn. Okay, that was not good. But yeah. So I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. So 8 players tomorrow and 6 players today. Villar doesn't count. So yeah, Lewandowski's my captain. It's locked in. And I got in Modric in the end, a bit more Real Madrid coverage, but I'll be honest, I just don't know what's going to happen against, between Madrid and I didn't even do my predictor, didn't I? Damn it. Yeah, I've gone for 2-1 Madrid. I just don't know if that's true. I went for 3-1 Bayern with the Joker, Lewandowski and Bayern to score. I'll be honest, I didn't really think about the predictor. I think Chelsea, I don't think it's going to be 2-1 Madrid, to be honest. If they end up winning like that, I'm happy because I would have probably changed it if I had the opportunity. But there you go, we're locked in. We answered so many questions today. But yeah, let's see. Laporte for Rudiger -4. No, I wouldn't have done it for a -4. Lewandowski. Yes. Hopefully he produces. Best Bayern player to captain today. Mate, it's always Lewandowski for me, mate. Always. The delaying pushing the button is hilarious. It's because I overthink these things. And also because I know it's so tight between these players that, these 50-50 calls, getting rid of Müller for Benzema, like that could, punish me, just like I did last week, not going for Benzema. Also, what else? Getting rid of Mahrez. I like Mahrez a lot. I've backed him for a long time, but you can't have everyone. That's the moral of the story. So hopefully it's not too bad, and I get some returns from the players I signed. Modric over Foden's an interesting one. It's a bit of a funny one. It's a funny world we live in. But yeah, there we go. I went Modric, get in. Yes. I took that to my team selection. I just back my original gut. Sometimes when I don't do that, I end up getting punished. Obviously, the poll, as we can see here, very overwhelming victory for Foden, although not as bad as it was in the channel. Yeah, the transfers are all done, Mark. Don't worry. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid. Would have downgraded Fabinho. I think Mahrez will outscore Foden and Modric. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, to be fair. I was considering it, but I do like the squad depth having Fabinho there, but that's a good point. I was, it appears Dylan is actually human like us. Yeah, definitely I'm human. I make a lot of mistakes, and just look at my FPL team for some examples. Wow. Looking at the comments, it's like people are more stressed than me about me not locking in my team. That is crazy. But don't worry, look, it's all done. Look, let me just refresh. Oh no. Imagine I refresh and I just have my original team and I didn't get the likes of Benzema. That would be funny. But I wouldn't be laughing. Let's just put it that way. Come on, load. All right, come on. Any second now. Yeah, chop. Oh my god. Anyway, this is how my team was before. Look, oh no, I got Mahrez. No, this is just a visual glitch. Don't worry, it's because it's not refreshed. Don't worry. But yeah, as you can see, oh no, maybe. Oh no. Okay, you know what? I think something bad might have happened then. Whenever the site takes so long to load. That's basically a bad sign, but the games have started. Captain Mularo Sane, like I said already, I would have gone for Sane. Petro Tagarish said, what's the story, Dylan? Yeah, I basically made 3 transfers. Hopefully they went through. I got Benzema in for Müller, apparently. I got Modric in for Foden and Cancelo in for Rudiger. Alright, good luck. Yeah, good luck to Dortmund. It's in the Europa League. I actually forgot about Dortmund. No, they got knocked down in the Europa League, didn't they? By Rangers, I forgot. But yeah, good luck in the Bundesliga. Hope Bayern can do it. Yeah, so they're less focused on the league. Clever stuff, mate. Good luck to you as well, Alex. Good luck, Dylan. 7 players today and tomorrow for me. Yeah, that's a good, evenly balanced as all things should be. Not for me, though. Good luck to you as well, Alex. As I said, I had Modric. I went for Foden, for Silva, and Pava for Sula. No, look, Foden's a good option. So is Mahrez. I think he's my... I wish I had him still, but unfortunately I can't. I still got this blank screen, by the way. This is bugging me. I need to check the app, by the way, see if the transfers actually went through. I think they must have, by the way, but yeah. Just, whether it goes through or not, the transfers, the moral of the story, kids, you're not kids, probably older than me, but do not make late transfers, please. Don't do what I did. It was silly. I don't know why I did it. I know I'm a bit stupid sometimes. No, yeah, so... I don't know if I should show this, but basically I've got it on my phone now. Modric is in my team. It's all done. No, don't worry. Relax, I was thinking some adverts there, but look. Wait, can I even show it? Look. Let's see. Look. Okay, I don't want to go into Thiago Silva. Look, Modric is there. Look, Benzema, okay? Just relax. But then if the players I actually had in the first place outscore them, then we're going to be laughing. But yeah, good luck to everyone. Just enjoy it. That's the most important thing. Don't stress about UCL Fantasy or FPL. I had some very poor, low points in both of them, but there you go. RIP Dylan, thank you. Look how many RIP Dylan comments I'm getting. Thank you, Vivan. Much appreciated. Fantastic support. How was your F1 Fantasy? It was pretty good. Let me get it up, actually. We might as well. Obviously, I want to watch the games as well. I've got it, kind of on the side, but I'm going to be behind anyway. So, that's the way we're going. Fantastic. Let's go on F1 Fantasy quickly. Oh, F1 Fanatic? No, F1 Fantasy, mate. All right, here we go. I actually did very well. I triple captained Leclerc and he dominated the race. He got pole position. He basically is the first time he ever got pole position, led every single lap, won the race. What else? Set the fastest lap, etc. But look what Dylan did. Yeah? Look what Dylan did. So when you triple captain someone, you also can still captain. And look who I captained. Carlos Sainz, who didn't even finish the race. He finished last, actually. So minus 10 points. He was my captain, so -5 times 2, -10. Thank you, Science. I should have probably captained Perez in hindsight, and I would have got even more. But I'm actually around 42,000, I think, in the world. Not too bad. But then, a lot of people still haven't played the Mega Driver, which I'm guessing is going to be Leclerc. Very simple. And yeah, I got in Ocon, pretty good. Everyone did well except for Sainz, basically. I got rid of Russell, my second team, and in the end he got his first podium. So I should get him back in, jinx Mercedes and jinx Russell. No, nothing personal. It's just I just don't really like Mercedes. And then Verstappen on my third team. Again, this guy, man. Again. I have to say, look, yes, he was very lucky in the finale last year, but if you look throughout the season, so many moments of bad luck, and then look at this season, 2 DNFs. I think Leclerc's already got a foothold on the championship, to be honest. 40 points difference. Red Bull are quick, but Ferrari are quicker, and they've got a more reliable car. So yeah, probably going to make some changes to these teams. You can make free transfers for free, and then any extra transfers you make is for a -10, and you can make 6 transfers overall. So you can't make like 20. So you know how in FPL and UCL Fantasy or whatever, if someone hacks your account, they can just make unlimited transfers or whatever. Well, it's not really the case here. So let me know how you're doing in F1 Fantasy as well, by the way. We've got a Discord channel there. So, join the Discord server. Let us know how you're doing. And also UCL Fantasy, FPL. We talk about football in general too. But yeah, come on. Load, man. Come on. I want to show people my team. Okay, there we go. 7 points already. Good start. Everyone's starting. Yeah, well done. Everyone's starting in a game where you micromanage your team until the deadline. Yeah, great. All right, let's go through the questions I didn't go through. So thank you, Mohammed. All the best to you as well. Good luck. Went captain Lewandowski last week over Benzema, switched it this week, and can't wait for him to blank and Lewandowski to brace. To be honest, I said this. I don't mind if I jinx Benzema, but yeah, good luck to you anyway. Even if you get the captaincy wrong, you still got tomorrow. The first time I bought Doherty in FPL, he's injured. Yep, he's probably out for the rest of the season, by the way, Doherty. Out for the rest of the season, it looks like. Yeah, I checked on the phone, Fakri, yeah, and it's all good. It's all good. And Bobby Perez, obviously, fellow Arsenal fan, good to see. Best left winger at one point in the world. Thank you very much. Should have downgraded Danjuma to Kante. Okay, that's not a bad shout, to be fair. I'm not too sure about Kante, though, but fair point. Do you think Liverpool will go there with the best 11 versus Benfica when they got Man City forwards? I'm not sure about the absolute best 11, but I think they'll still play a strong team. Okay, looks like Christian wanted me to fail and he wanted the transfer not to go through. I'll be honest though, a few times in UEFA Fantasy, for example, and I think FPL as well this season, I've had it where I left transfers very late on and the website crashed. And for other people who made the transfers even later than I did, they actually ended up having it go through, but my site completely crashed. So yeah. No, Mohammed, no worries. Everything is all good, yeah. Good luck to you as well, Fakri. Thank you very much. My thoughts are with you, mate. Don't worry, Patrick. If, the players I bring in are a failure and the players I had originally do even better, then yes, I'll accept your condolences and everything. No problem, Ashwin. Don't worry. Thank you for tuning in now. Hope you're doing good. All good. What about you? I basically overcomplicated things and left transfers to the last, checks watch, 40 seconds. So yeah. What happened here? Dylan being Dylan, basically. Dylan overthinking. What's your F1 Fantasy League? That's a good question. Thank you. This is the type of questions I want to see, mate. All right, so hello. Okay, I shouldn't do that. Okay, I'm a bit of a noob. Yeah, here we go. It's on the top right. All right. Yeah. Okay, look, my team's second now in the league. Okay, we're making progress. But look at this guy. Fair play. Top of the league. Wow. Use the triple drive on Leclerc in the first day. Wow, you got Russell Parrott May. This guy, I'm just going to copy him. Joking out. Don't do that. All right, so here you go. Is the league. I got sidetracked. That's the league code. And give me a second. I'm just going to bring the link. I think there should be a link, an automatic one. Invite. Oh yeah, they do it like this, which is a bit strange, to be fair. Okay, let's go on Twitter then. Come on. I'm pretty sure you... Wait, do you need to be on Twitter for this? I don't know. I'm a bit of a noob on this, of F1 Fantasy sharing leagues and stuff. But yeah, check these out. You should be able to join. Thank you, Poochie Head. Hopefully. In terms of Leclerc, I thought you meant the Modric move was clever. Yeah, I hope it is. But yeah, the thing is that Ferrari looked dominant from the beginning at Australia. I just didn't expect, Red Bull to get close. So, in Saudi Arabia, it was a bit different, so I didn't really want to use it. But right now is a great time to use on Leclerc because I think Mercedes could be better later in the season, etc. Let's go through these last few comments. Obviously, we know that. It's all saved, Patrick. Yeah. I need Muller to score. I triple buy an attack with Lewandowski, Sane, Muller. Good luck. To be honest, I'm expecting Muller to score. I just got rid of him as well. But Benzema's form is too good to ignore, and he punished me last game. Yes, I've got it in the background. But obviously I'm just trying to get through these last few questions, then I'm going to fully focus on the games and then wrap this up. Jim's got a yellow already. Yeah, the only game I'm watching right now is the Bayern Munich VRL one, but I'll bring that up as well. Yeah. Thank you for the update. Reece James, by the way, I've got him in FPL. He's been an absolute flop for me. Hopefully when I use Mega Driver, I will take the lead. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, to be honest. I mean, before my Mega Driver, I was mid-table, I think, in the league, or at least barely in the top 10. Apparently there's a bad hit matchup in the Chelsea game. Let me check this. I mean, that's the game I should be watching. What am I doing? Alright, so let me check this. Lads and lasses, as they say. Did they say that? Probably not. But yeah, I'll check that out. And let's see, what else do we have? Any other comments? Had Reguilon and Gordon on the bench last week. Blank from the Arsenal boys too. FPL is a funny game sometimes. And if it wasn't for the three midfielders I had, which I'll discuss in my team selection, I basically would have had a very poor week. And I was actually down to 80k before Son captaincy absolutely carried me. And also Kulusevski. Doherty being injured is a shame. I'd love to have Kane, but unfortunately it's just not possible right now. But benching Gordon, I said this before, I don't know how I started, by the way. Benching Gordon is, look, I would have done the same thing. It was a very lucky goal. And as for Reguilon, he's going to be nailed on for the rest of the season, but he's just too injury prone for me. I don't really like him too much. And the triple up for Spurs right now is definitely the attackers. Kulusevski, Son and Kane. That is the way to go. But thank you to everyone for tuning in. It's been a blast and it was very, very fun. And yeah, don't worry, I'll try not to leave things that late in the future. I just don't really see the benefit to it. But just as a last reminder, this is how my team is lining up. I made the transfers in the end. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's how my team was. And this is how it is. And yeah, I mean, no one's got more than 1 point so far, but obviously we're very early on. I'm going to go to watch the matches now, so thank you very much to everyone. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and also join the Discord server. The link is in the description below. Be sure to hit the notification bell and never miss a single upload or stream. Yesterday we did a quadruple upload, so if that doesn't deserve a like or whatever, I don't know what does. But obviously, thank you for tuning in. It's been a blast as always talking to all of you. Take care, enjoy the football, and good luck with Matchday 10. And I'll see you next time.